Going live, but when are you going to actually be live? Why is it stuck buffering? Can you hear me right now or not? That is the question that I have in my mind, and I have no answer for because I don't know if I'm actually live or not. It'll be interesting for me to go back and see if this is actually recorded right now, if this is part of the live stream, or if this is me talking to myself. But that said, I think I'm live now for sure, 100% confirmed. So, anybody that's out there, allow me to welcome you to my shiny Shaymin hunt, and it is a holiday for me, which is why I'm able to do this in the afternoon instead of sitting at work and actually doing work. So, check this out. It's been a little while since I've hunted Shaymin. I've been doing resets, but not that many. I've been pretty busy lately, so I haven't actually had the time to do any resets. And I certainly haven't streamed, well, actually, I haven't streamed at all, let alone streamed my shiny Shaymin hunt. So, you know what? Today feels like the day. Today feels like a good day for a shiny Shaymin hunt. Not only that, but I've set up a Gen 3 hunt as well, and I was going to stream that eventually here soon too. And it's going to be an interesting hunt because the internal clock on that game is dead, and I purposely skipped the Master Ball because I'm like, screw it, I don't need a Master Ball. So I will try to juggle those two in. But for now, allow me to welcome you to the stream. Archo, how are you doing, my friend? And Ivanus, how are you doing as well? Actually, I already know how you're doing. You have a Mimikyu hat, which you said you got from, let's see. And guess where I bought it from? I'm going to say you ordered it from the Poke Center. Meanwhile, Archo, how are you doing? It's good to see you, my friend. I'm going to guess like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock for you. Spencer's had a Mimikyu hat. Actually, I guess that makes sense. Spencer's always had like anime stuff and nerd culture stuff. It's been a while since I've been into Spencer's. Dare I say, I think, I hate to say it, I think I might have out-aged Spencer's at this point. Well, I don't know. Spencer's just seems like, you know what, if you're older than, like if you're out of college and you got a job, you're part of the thing that everyone's in here revolting against, so don't come in here. I don't know if that's true or not, but either way. All right, I feel it today, man. I feel today is the day. Let me pop that up there. Check it out. Hey, that looks really good. That little Shaymin I put on there, I put a glow on it, and it pops on the stream, actually. Did I spell everything right? I did. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this on performance mode. Hopefully everything sounds good. Before I start, let me go ahead and ask. Mic check, audio check. Does everything sound loud and clear to you guys? Jazzy, how are you doing? It is great to see you, and welcome to the stream. Thank you for the shiny luck. Crossing my fingers. I feel like today's the day because for whatever reason, it's been pretty dry. This hunt has not favored me. And I know Darkrai was bad, and Giratina wasn't bad. So Mewtwo was hell. So basically the last legendaries I've had, pretty much 50-50 between absolute nightmare and got it quickly. So, heck yeah. Training at the gym. I just scared my cats because I sat up in a chair. That shouldn't scare them, but you know what? They're cats, so they get scared by, like, any movement. Can't hear me. My mic is broken. Totally trust you, Ivanus. I bet everything you're saying is accurate 100%, even though, like, 2 minutes ago, you were addressing my words and questions relating to the statements I was making. I'm sure you can barely hear me. I'm sure that you just guessed what I was saying based on my lip movement, and you got it right, so that's very impressive. I'll go ahead and fix the mic, quote-unquote. And I threw up on the overlay side order because actually that was the question today. Was I going to stream or was I going to record side order? Instead, I actually edited, I know this is crazy, I edited Majora's Mask. Didn't mean to take a break. Naya's work schedule is really complicated, so basically we record hard for like 2 months and then we take a month off, and I keep not wanting to do that, but it keeps happening, and that is unfortunate because I don't want Naya to forget the game, because the whole reason that I'm running her through that game is so that I can enjoy the game again, but really get to watch and experience her, who has never played Majora's Mask before. She gets to enjoy it. And I feel like when we take too much time off, I get a little guilty about possibly taking too much time off and allowing her to forget the small details. But Meadow not having a good day. Oh, Meadow, that's unfortunate. Bad days happen. Hopefully it's not horrible. Hopefully it's just a slightly bad, mildly inconvenient, trending downward kind of day. First reset. Shaymin, can you make this absolutely insane right now? Can you blow minds right now? It's the first reset of the day anyway. It's like the 10,000. I don't even have I have not been counting. So I don't, for anybody that doesn't know, I don't count my encounters. I've been shiny hunting for so long, I don't count them anymore. I'm tired of counting. However, I do estimate about where we're at. Except this hunt, I have completely wiped my memory. I have no idea where we're at. So we're just going until we find it. And it's the runaway method, so at least I get to do runaway instead of resetting the game. What's cool about this, too, is I pretty much, I would say, what's on the Gen 4 Pokedex is like 400 and some Pokemon. I would say I shiny hunted 90% of them back in the day. Basically, almost living dex level. And then Shaymin comes along. I never got the event. I did have an action replay, which allowed me to get Arceus shiny, which, you know, I don't condone cheating when it comes to competition, but anything else, I'm fine. Either way. But I never actually grabbed Shaymin for whatever reason. I never hunted. I didn't even catch a Shaymin. So this is actually a first for me, which is rare. Unless it's past Gen 4, and then nothing's rare, because I've got like 5 shinies total from anything past Gen 4. Nah, that's not true. That's not true at all. Either way, I digress. Let's see how you're doing, Meadow. I see your chat popped up there. Let's see. It's because I keep finding noobs in Salmon Run. I will say, Salmon Run is such a split in terms of sometimes randos are like the greatest players I've ever met. And then on the flip side of that coin, sometimes randos are so aggravating because they absolutely do not know anything about it. There is a difference between knowing how to play well casually and knowing like research and metagame. I don't require metagame myself. I like to know the metagame, but that doesn't mean that I'm a master of it. I know it's there and I'm trying my best. But there is a huge difference between that and like knowing how to play casually and then just like not even, how did you even get to professional, let alone executive? And when you run into those people where it's like you do not know how to play the objective, you do not know how to play with teammates, then yes, that can be like, oh my god, I'm done. It can definitely get a little bit under your skin. Can't even do it for me, man. Hey, the good news is, well, I guess good news, extra work. It's not really good news, it's just news. But extra work has been announced for July 20th. So you can really find some teammates in Rocket and try to really aim high rather than messing around with noobs all day if you want. Let's see. Why do I have a Chimecho? Chimecho, this Chimecho has no fear because this Chimecho faced the god of time, Dialga, in its shiny form and caught it. It faced Satan, Giratina, caught it. And then the same Chimecho faced the nightmare itself, Darkrai, and caught it. This Chimecho, literally, this thing is fearless, man. It's got bigger round ones than I do. This thing is crazy. So this Chimecho right here, man, this is the Chimecho. It stands up and it looks anything in the face and says, "I have no fear." This thing would look at any final boss and laugh. This thing plays Elden Ring with absolutely no mods and no equipment. That's how this Chimecho is next level. Oh my god, it's a shiny. Oh, I'd be the first one to know if it was a shiny. I would absolutely be the first one to know. Archo says, other shiny hunters, I'm exactly 2346 encounters. Let's hope I get it by 2500. You know, we'll get it when we get it. We'll get it eventually. Are we there yet? No, we'll get there when we get there. I haven't hunted Masuda method egg hatching in probably 15 years. Because, my god, I have hatched so many eggs for competitive. The shinies, actually, from eggs came by accident. It was just on the way to IV breeding back in the day. And so I've hatched so many eggs, I don't think I want to see another egg for... It's been 15 years. I'm going to say at least another 5. Maybe, actually, yeah, it's been about 15. So 5 more years, and I'll finally hatch an egg again, because I'm sick of hatching eggs, man. I would give it 20-year buffer, and then I'll finally be able to do it again. But right now, I'm still in that area of, like, I don't want to see another egg. I've hatched, like, 80,000 eggs. I'm done. Done for 5 more years. So the shiny odds in this game are not the OG full odds. However, this is new G full odds, which is 1 in 4,096. It used to be 8,192 back in the day. They doubled it because I don't know why they doubled it, honestly. I guess shinies have become more of an advertising purpose than they have like a super secret unspoken thing. So with that in mind, I think that's pretty much why they doubled the odds. To be fair, those odds still suck though. They suck half as much, but they're still pretty bad. But regardless of it, I am not scared by 1 in 8,192, and I am not scared 1 in 4,096. Both are valid, man. Hey, Spider Monkey, how you doing? Good to see you, my friend. How's it going? I thought about streaming Splatoon because I have not played a Splatoon stream in a while, and I'm realizing time is just getting away from me. The last 2 weekends, I've been busy, and I was like, dude, I kind of want to just go into Splatoon and have matches and like no event, just a nice casual stream and do Splatoon stuff. I have lost track of time like crazy. In fact, even this stream right here, I'm not gonna go particularly long. Or maybe we go with my original idea. 5 years ago, like back when I started my first Shiny Hunt stream where I was like, hey, people stream this? That was back when I made this channel. I'm like, people stream the thing that I used to do all the time? Well, crap, I need to do that. Either way, one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to do what I was going to coin a shiny stakeout, which is boot up the Switch, turn on the stream, and go until it shines or I fall asleep, one or the other. So technically, I've never done that. I talked about doing it for years and eventually just put that on the shelf and never did it. Just a stupid, crazy challenge. Then again, YouTube also says that I think 12 hours is the most that you can stream. After that, it doesn't get recorded anyway, which means that you would, let's say that I go all night and it's like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning and it shines, I probably would lose the recording. Depending on when I start, I guess. You get my point. Either way, I digress. Cosmic Void, my friend, how are you doing? And welcome to the stream. If you guys are in the United States, right now it's a holiday, so hopefully you're using your time off to depress, relax, and enjoy things and not be stuck at parades that you hate. Ivan says, Nito, have you seen those news reports about Pokemon and how it was making kids violent? Oh, are you talking new or like back in the day? Because back in the day, it wasn't... well, yeah, you know what? I'll call it an epidemic. It wasn't quite epidemic level, but like back in the early 2000s, I would say that it was a major talking point that people did say Pokemon made kids violent because Pokemon was like satanic and crazy, and they were saying like it was promoting people to have animal cruelty, animal abuse, all these things, and it was like, a bunch of garbage. That's true though. They do that for every game. Basically, they're haters. You can tell when somebody just wants to hate something for the sake of hating, they'll make wildly explicit points. There's never a person who hates something. Like, hate is a strong word, right? I mean, it is really, if you truly hate something, it's not just a casual, oh, I dislike this, so I'm not going to watch this. I dislike this, so I'm not going to buy it. Hate implies that you are actively going out of your way to try and knock them down. So when people hate something, regardless if it has anything to do with video games or even all the way up to, dare I say it, politics. I won't mention politics on this channel. I'm just saying it falls into this. Anytime somebody truly hates something, they go out of their way to make wild accusations, mostly unsupported, or even if they are supported, they stretch the truth all the way to the point of lying. And that's what the Pokemon witch hunt was. We'll call it a witch hunt. That's what that was people just hated that this little Japanese company, I think Creatures started. So the Pokemon company, I think, didn't start until like Gen 3 or 2. I don't believe the big three were there. So the big three being that Game Freak is the developer, the models are made by the Pokemon company, and then Nintendo publishes the game. I think the Pokemon company came afterwards. I think Game Freak was the start of all of it. So people hated this little Japanese company suddenly becoming the biggest thing in the world, and they were all rich instantly, and it was crazy. And what do they do when you're jealous and you hate something coming from left field? And when I say left field, I mean like no one had Pokemon on their radar. Video games were cool, kids wanted to play it, but there was not a phenomenon. And then Pokemon took everything over. So immediately you know you're going to run into people that hate that. The idea that all of a sudden this is the most popular thing ever, and they can't escape it. So what do? They get hate. And that's pretty much, if you weren't there for the 90s, that's pretty much, I'd say 90s, early 2000s. That's pretty much it. Yeah, Charmander is the devil. That was, I remember hearing that. Charizard is so popular, you would have thought that Charizard was the one, but I remember Charmander definitely was like, people hated Charmander. Just the haters. Remember, I didn't even encounter this. It didn't affect my life at all. I watched from a distance, and I was just like, oh, hey, people hate Pokemon. That's weird. As a kid, thankfully, my parents didn't buy that crap at all. They were like, oh, my mom and my dad were like listening to Metallica and Def Leppard, and they were watching Alice Cooper concerts, and they were fans of horror movies, and my mom had every Stephen King book, so they were cool. My parents were cool, and that's really the best way to say it. They definitely weren't like, oh, Pokemon doesn't do that. Here, have Pokemon Red and Blue, or actually Blue. We were... I had Yellow. I was going to say, I wasn't one of the rich kids that got to have all of them, but it happened twice. I guess it happened 3 times. I got Crystal after Silver, but I never owned Gold. I got Yellow after Blue, but I never owned Red. The only time that there was an accident was when my mom was getting Ruby for my birthday, I believe, and my dad got Sapphire, and basically they ran into each other and were just kind of like, oh wait, you got it? I thought I was getting it. And thankfully they didn't buy the same game. They got the opposites of each other, but that's the only time I've ever had both versions, was Ruby Sapphire, and then eventually Emerald. Joey, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. How do you change Shaymin to Sky form? That's a good question. I forgot. I absolutely do not like Shaymin's Sky form. And I think that's probably the popular opinion. I think most people don't like its Sky form. But I actually forgot how to change the form of Shaymin. You are asking questions that it's been so long that I managed to actually forget the answer to them. This is like the first time this happened. I legitimately, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. How can I forget? I knew everything, literally everything about Pokemon in Gen 4. How did I forget how Shaymin goes into Sky form? Hang on one second. I gotta grab my cup of coffee. I just realized it's back behind me and I need to reach over and get it. Give me 1 sec. I'm still here. Just grab it. All right. Alrighty, I'm back. Flareon is actually Lucifer in disguise. That's what I would imagine. I don't remember. Yeah, I think you had to take it somewhere like oh god, it's on the tip of my tongue. It was like Deoxys. And I'm thinking it has to do with the town with all the flowers in it. You would go to something like Deoxys. So Deoxys, you go to a meteor, you talk to the meteor, you change its form. I think Shaymin was the same way. Is you would go talk to a flower or like a bush, and it would change forms. And my theory was that, or my hypothesis, it's unsupported entirely, is that Shaymin's Sky form they created, and they didn't really like the design that came out. Like, they published it, they thought it was going to be good, it wasn't that popular, so they made the movie, and it still wasn't that popular, plus that, let's be honest, the Gen 4 Pokemon movies were animated like dog crap. So, literally, you watch them, there's no fluid motion to anything, everything moves weird. Or at least the legendaries do. So either way, with Shaymin, my theory is that they didn't really like the result, but they liked the design. So instead of trashing the design or just considering the reindeer Shaymin a total disaster, they reinvented it when they did the Swords of Justice in Gen 5, and they decided to reuse the design for Keldeo instead. That's my hypothesis. Obviously, I have no way to support that, so... Let's see. Archo said people that can't accept change. That's 90% of the reason that hate happens, is because people can't accept change. The harsh reality. Let's see. All the way back to Cosmic. I'm sorry, I missed your message. Well, people had like 27 people arrested recently. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. You're across seas, right? I think you're having some crazy protesters at the moment for big oil companies and all that. But yeah, that's my hypothesis, anyways, is that Keldeo was a second attempt at the design that Shaymin had, and they wanted to up the ante. Like, wait a minute, somebody's gonna like this design. We just got to get it a little better. And they thought Shaymin was it, but people like the hedgehog. Let's be honest. This Shaymin, there's nothing wrong with this Shaymin. Shaymin's not a violent Pokemon, and it doesn't have to be. It can just be a Pokemon that creates a good harvest. And we had that with Calyrex. Calyrex wasn't particularly violent until it got on Spectrier or Glacier, and then it was OP. But hey, and that's the other thing, too, is that new legendaries seem like they always have to be OP. Otherwise, what's the point of making them, right? All right, back up the chat. Let's see. My parents were super against violent games for ages. Thankfully, mine weren't. Although I didn't really have... Well, no, that's not true. I was going to say, I didn't have mature-rated games until I actually was older. However, they screwed up. My parents did. They got me Conker's Bad Fur Day and didn't realize it had a rated M. They saw, oh, Rareware makes this, which it wasn't at that time anymore. It wasn't Rareware. It was Rare. As well as that was combined with... it was a squirrel on the front, so they figure, yeah, I'm sure that'll be fine. Get him that game. He'll like it. And they did not know that thing was rated Super M. Then again, speaking of Rareware, Rare published Killer Instinct. That was a pretty violent fighting game, and I had that game. Actually, they had that game. They got that game for themselves. I think I was born after Killer Instinct even came out. Yeah, I was born after pretty much all the SNES games came out because I was born right as the N64 was in development, and like, I think I was 3 when it was released, or 2.5 when the N64 was released, so technically that doesn't count because Killer Instinct wasn't for me, that was for them. Just like Zelda, by the way, the first game I ever played in my life, A Link to the Past, they had that before they had me. That was for them, not me. Alright, let's see. Where's Archo? Says, never let me play until my friend brought one over and I showed him that game and they deemed it okay. If they call Pokemon satanic, imagine what they would... Oh, yeah, God, dude, no. Persona has been accused of that as well. Absolutely, Persona has. Because they literally have demons and devils. So, at that point, I would say Persona literally is rated M for violence, for designs like demons that have things hanging out, girls in the game that have things hanging out. Yeah, Persona is right down that road for satanic. But yeah, back in like Persona 4, I think, was the first time I ever heard anybody accuse it. Now, granted, it wasn't like Pokemon. It wasn't on the news. I had to go find that article. I don't remember why. And I don't think it was that it was devil worshipping or anything crazy like that. It was, the article was just saying that it was like embodying dark themes that don't belong in games and that it's going overboard and don't let your kids play Persona 4. I think I remember that. And if I go on way back, I'm sure I could find you that article if I really wanted to. But I remember seeing something about Persona 4 back in the day. All right, Meadow says, I can't anymore. I'm smashing my Switch if I don't win again. Uh-oh, Meadow, that message is old and I missed it. That means that by now you've had another round of Salmon Run, which means if you haven't said anything since that message that I missed that I'm reading right now, you're still in Salmon Run, which means that you haven't wiped early. We're crossing our fingers for you. Like the Reggies and the Secret Islands. Oh, you missed Pokemon Secrets. Dude, the Braille thing, I'll never get over. Like, I remember I saw the Braille writing in Pokemon Sapphire, and I'm like, Mom, what is this? I can't read Braille. And she's like, well, I can't read Braille. Look it up on the internet. And I thought, oh, yeah, duh. I look everything up on the internet. I learned about shiny hunting on the internet. Why didn't I just look this up? So then I looked it up and I figured out what you had to do. But it's funny that that's what happened when I ran into the Braille writing thing. I'm like, what a weird thing to put in there. But, man, that was so quirky and cool. Let's see. I haven't seen them. Okay, Cosmic hasn't seen them. Think the British have a lot of them over here. Yeah, they seem to always be in the news. And I don't even really watch like any news or see any news. So if I'm seeing it, then that means that people I know are like retweeting it or any of that stuff. Shaymin off-brand Sonic? Nah. Shaymin's a very slow hedgehog. Have you seen Shaymin move? This thing's never moved fast in its life. Shaymin's the opposite of Sonic. Shaymin is just a little bush. Just because they are the same species, these two couldn't be further apart. First game I ever played was Halo 2 or something. Oh man, the Halo 2 days. Back, like, now the squad, when you think of, like, you're in school and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I want to get with the guys, I want to be with the bros, I want to squad out here and have a good Friday night with, like, Coca-Cola and Mountain Dew, chips, and just junk food. I would say the game that I'm feeling like you're playing is probably Fortnite. I think Fortnite would be a good one for that. Back in the day, that was Halo 2, man. When you were like, hey, let's have a sleepover, and it's going to be no sleeping. We're just going to game and eat absolute crap food. Halo 2 was the game, man. Let's see. It's 100% on my list once it's out. Let's see. Sonic and Shadow Gen will be good. I know almost nothing about Sonic. Unfortunately. I love the movies, and I played the original games, but I know nothing about Sonic lore. Maybe I'm missing out. Maybe that's something I'm missing. Then again, there's so many things I'm missing. I mean, I just now finally opened up Tales of Arise and Final Fantasy 15 in the last few months here, so those games were sitting on the shelf for how long? By the way, both of those games rocked. I love the hell out of both of them. At the end of Persona 5, you literally summon the devil. Nah, that's fine. It's normal. It happens. Yoshi, how are you doing, my friend? And welcome to the stream. Meadow says, I'm on wave 3. I think I found pros in this game. That is the beauty of randos in Salmon Run. The problem is when they are taken away from you by either the every 2 hours reset, or they just leave the room, and then it's like, oh, man. But yeah, sometimes you just got to sort through a few of the bad ones, and you find really, really good ones. Oh yeah, I saw that with the Stonehenge. How's it going? Going well, Yoshi. No success on the shiny hunt anyway, but hey, what else is new? This hunt's been a couple of years old. I've been coming back to it and coming back to it and coming back to it. In the last 3 weeks or so, I haven't had much of a time to do anything. Splatoon 3, actually. I finished up the recordings for Splatoon 3, the story, the Return of the Mammalians, and I was going to dive into side order, and it's been like 2 weeks now. So I'm like, oh, come on, dude. Today, I was actually thinking of jumping into side order. I think maybe tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I can play some side order, because I'm going to be leaving town tomorrow afternoon. And tonight, Naya either wants to play Majora's Mask, or we're not going to play Majora's Mask, in which case I might start side order, but we'll see. What do I mean reboot? Great example of the greatest reboot of my generation, or I should say my generation, of the new generation. Absolutely loved it. So, I give this game series 10 out of 10. I loved these games, and the final game of the 3 in the reboot was amazing, and that game was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. When they rebooted Tomb Raider, they went from way back in the day, PlayStation 1, polygons and pixels, and there was that theme park that had the Tomb Raider ride. Tomb Raider was stagnant for like over a decade, and finally they got the team together and said, hey, we're going to reboot this in HD, and we're going to make it an exploration game. They came out with Tomb Raider, then they came out with the second one, and then they came out with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and the first 2 games, great. The third game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, that was straight up a 10 out of 10, just like Uncharted 4 for me. Loved it. So when I say reboot, it's a game that, there's games that they reboot and it's like no one wanted this, and then there's games that it's like, oh yeah, dude, this was great, we just needed to see it on HD. Technically, it's a reboot. We can count Final Fantasy VII in there because 7 was a remake. And when I say reboot, remake, same thing. Something that, in my opinion, a reboot means you're continuing the story. It's new. It's not just the exact same game. So not a remaster, and maybe not a straight one-to-one remake. I want to see new content, extend the story, build that universe up. That's what I mean by reboot. And for me, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, or I should say Tomb Raider in general, the modern Tomb Raider that started in about 2015. Absolutely amazing reboot. It was great for that series. Freaking loved it, man. That was like the textbook definition of the best way to do a reboot. The game that Naya and I are wanting to get back into soon is Shadow Hearts. I'm thinking we might actually finish that on Naya's channel instead of posting it on mine. And Shadow Hearts is a good one that could use a reboot. That story, even though I only have limited exposure, it sounds like, yeah, it could totally use a nice reboot. Let's see. Am I going to do the secret kettle? Oh, I forgot about that secret kettle. That's right. I forgot about that thing. It opened up after I finished the story. Okay. Maybe that'll be first thing in the morning. Or tonight, depending on if Naya actually is able to come over and do Zelda. We're at the Water Temple, by the way, if anybody's curious where we're at in Majora. Which leads me into the Wind Waker. Wind Waker, we're thinking that I'm going to do what I talked about doing, is we're going to start the first few things off with episodes recorded and edited in order. That way, you know, post episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Then when the world exploration comes into play for Wind Waker, I think we stream it. So I'm thinking we're going to actually split that series between recorded and live streamed. Seems like the right way to do with the way that there's so much exploration, because the exploration is either going to be just 5 minutes of me just, or 5 seconds is more like it, where I just chop the recording out and I go, okay, for the next half hour, we were on a boat, we were fishing, we were doing this, that, whatever. It's stuff that nobody wants to watch, whatever. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. What if it was live? What if we were going around and we have 2 people on the controllers? One is Link, one is Tingle. And what if we were also watching the chat? So if I'm intending to be the one that's playing the Tingle tuner, so I'll be on the Game Boy while she is on the controller. And while she's exploring and going around collecting artifacts and doing all that, I could be looking at the chat and messing around with the Tingle tuner. So I'm thinking that's how we're going to do Wind Waker. What team am I picking for the Splatfest, Nito? That is a great question. I'm not 100% sure which one I want to go. I'm not particularly attracted to either or any of the teams. I think the Splatfest theme is a little unenthusiastic for me. Not a problem, I suppose, but I think I might go with Big Man on this one. Theme Park, I think, is going to win. If I had to take a guess, I think Theme Park is going to win. Where was I? Let's see. We are never getting Shiny Shaymin? Nah, we're going to be fine. I hunted Mewtwo for 4 years and never gave up on that one. Which, by the way, I had to open my loud mouth. We're talking, I have shiny hunted everything. Everything. Every starter from Gen 1, 2, 3, and 4. Every legendary, or at least most of them, from 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, I shiny hunted freaking everything. And I had to go and open my big mouth and say, oh yeah, I'm not a member of the 10K club. I don't go over odds. And if I do, it's not by much. So I had to go and open my big mouth about how I have never gotten stuck on a shiny hunt. 10,000 encounters, that doesn't happen to me. And Mewtwo was like, bet. So thanks, Mewtwo. Really appreciate that. Sandygast did the same thing to me, but Sandygast, even though Sandygast went to 21,000 encounters, which only happened because I swear I was like, oh, I'm going to count my encounters because I wanted to see if the encounters on the Pokedex really truly stop at 999 and they don't go over any more than that. So since I already knew I was at 999, I just kept counting every encounter. And I will never do that again. But at least it was fast. Mewtwo, 4 years, man. 4 years. Cresselia has never... So Cresselia is not a finished hunt. Which, by the way, it's funny that you mentioned that because I actually have the DS that I use to hunt Cresselia on the charger right now, and I need to go pull it off because it's done charging. I literally reset every week. Every week I take some time to do resets for Cresselia. But when I say that, Cresselia is not a member of the 10K club. Cresselia is a member of the 100K club. I think I might have the longest shiny hunt in human history. I literally think that when I post that, it's going to be, I claim the crown for the longest shiny hunt ever, out of any shiny hunter ever. Because Cresselia has been for 17 years now, 16, 17 years, and at this point I'm like, is that cartridge shiny locked? But I know I'm not on the original cartridge I used at like VGC. I didn't take it to regionals. This one I got from not a farmer's market. What am I trying to say? A garage sale. Jeez, brain fart done. No, I got it from a garage sale. So it's a different cartridge, and I still can't find Cresselia. I'm like, oh my god, Cresselia. I actually forfeited Cresselia in this game. I said, we're not doing this. The game that I started the hunt in got remade before I even found it. So I just said, Cresselia, go out into the world. I already checked, by the way. It is not shiny. So I did find Cresselia in this game after I released it. It is not a shiny. Because that would be such a kick in the teeth. Either way, I forfeited Cresselia in this game in favor of Darkrai. So it's also really stupid in this game. You actually, like right now I'm shiny hunting Shaymin. You know you can't even get to this thing anymore. You had one chance, one event. That's it. They never ran the event again. Darkrai's gone forever, and so is Shaymin. I had somebody offer me... I'm going to let this spawn. I was going to say, I'm not going into the recording when it gets posted. I am not going to go into this statement as I find a shiny Shaymin. I had somebody offer me money for my shiny Darkrai. They wanted to pay for a legit Darkrai. I'm like, before you pay money for that legit Darkrai, hack it. Not the Darkrai, the event item. But if you want to hack the shiny if you want to, just don't show it off. Like, you know, that's the only thing. Don't be a social media person with hacked shinies. But regardless, hack the event, not the Darkrai. But I'm like, don't pay for that, man. Do not pay for someone's Darkrai. And not only that, I'm not letting that Darkrai go because that thing took me a while, but it looks sweet in HD. And I can't get another one, so not legit anyways. Yeah, I got offered money for that Darkrai. I was like, well, that's a first. Let's see, I should do a documentary-style video on Cresselia. It's gonna be interesting when I ever do encounter Cresselia. I almost wonder if I should start... Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should start recording that. I kind of want to see, like, just thinking about it. I don't get emotional over shinies, but I was in high school, man. When I started that hunt, I was in high school. And... things were a lot different. Actually, I think I was in middle school when I started that, going into high school. So to look at where I was then, like, what would my old self say when they see an old man like me finally finish that hunt? My old self would be like, did things work out? Did we end up getting into college? Did we get a job? Like, you know, was I as big a failure as my school counselors thought I would be? Did things happen, or, you know, it's crazy. Yeah, there's always been one thing that's been stable throughout my life, and that's that damn shiny Cresselia hunt. Sir, did you read what I said? Hold on, let me go back up the chat and see it. Oh, I did not. I apologize, Meadow. I did miss that. I apologize. I missed a few messages here. Archo talking about Double Dash, which was absolutely legendary, even though I didn't really play much of it. Wind Waker stream, yeah, that's, dude, I'm thinking it's going to be sweet. Cosmic says, I think a whole theme park to myself would be kind of sick. Yeah, that's exactly it. I think they're going to win for the logic of it. No lines. Whole theme park, all to yourself, no lines. Matto says, have fun in the beach getting sunburns, and we're here in a theme park at Disneyland getting some ice cream, some corn dogs, cotton candy, yum yum, and again, no freaking lines, Meadow. It's all just go, grab it, move on. It's like, dude, that is going to win the Splatfest for sure. Yeah, I think it was Wii, wasn't it? Double Dash? Just keeping my eye open over to the right side of me here. Let's see. Super Sluggers. I remember Super Sluggers. I didn't actually ever play it, but I remember the commercials. I wonder if any of the game commercials from my day, like when I was in kid, teenager, and adult, if any of those commercials were, like, they were funny to me, but were they actually funny, or are they, like, super cringy and crap? Looking back on it, you know? Cosmic says, 100% take my girlfriend on a date to a whole theme park with no freaking lines. Well, Cosmic, you can actually do that right now. They call it paranormal investigating, and there's theme parks that are completely abandoned and unsafe in every right. So you can just walk right in. I think you probably, that would be maybe just a touch of trespassing, so I shouldn't condone that. And you can see all of the machines sitting there rotting. It's an amazing thing. I think you should invite her on that, and she might love that. And actually, that's what's funny is I know several people that probably would, actually. That, no joke, they would love that. Let's see. Have I gone to the... Oh, I already saw that. Something I should... Yeah, I'll make sure the secret kettle I record, which I'm sure if Inner Agent 3, Inner Agent 3, which was hilarious, that the way that that event happened to me, my story feels very unique in how that happened. So I can't imagine, but I'm guessing it's going to be Agent 8 is going to be what's in the secret kettle. Don't spoil. Nobody spoil, but I'm guessing Agent 8. Yep, that's exactly it. Easy hugging, clinging, all of it. Let's see. More of a water park guy myself. Do I like water parks or theme parks? I'm not a big ride person. I think I'd go for the water park myself too. I haven't been to a water park in a little while. Yeah, it's been actually. I've never been to a water park in my entire adult life. To me, I think the turnaway is that most water parks are family oriented. So I would have to get a group of people together to go enjoy the water park, and then it would just be like we're just a bunch of creepy old dudes with no families. We're just there vibing, and I don't think I would want to do that based on the fact that it's a family environment. What am I doing? Why am I there, you know? I think that's what has probably been the reason why I don't go to water parks. Haven't thought about it until this point, but I guess that's truly the thought. The first thing that goes through my head is like, I don't think I belong at a water park anymore. So I guess theme park it is. Thumbs up. Alright, let's see. Where was I at? I think I'm good. Yep, I think I'm caught up. Let's see. Oh, I did miss Archo said my school always classed me as a troublemaker, similar to how I classify my cat. Meadow says, let's go to the theme park. Well, let's see. I'll be disappointed if Palace wins. To have an entire palace to yourself. Would I want a... What? I guess it depends. See, that one's too fluid. What kind of palace are we talking? Like, first off, can it be fictional? Can I have, like, a theme of Aladdin's palace? Well, not Aladdin, but the Sultan's palace. Like, can it be a theme, or is it, like, an actual palace? And then on top of that, what are we talking in terms of, like, we're by ourselves in a palace? I mean, if you're at a palace, you've got the palace to yourself, but there's no one there. There's no servants, which means there's no chef cooking you amazing meals. There's just the raw materials, a kitchen, and go do it yourself. You've got the... Well, I guess the rules are negotiable, right? So if I were to pick Team Palace, it's on the stipulation. I want the cooks there to be able to make me gourmet meals that I am not capable of making with my own knowledge. And I don't have to spend my time with, you know, the limited time I have that palace is mine, that I'm spending at cooking, doing something I don't know how to do at that level anyways. And then the maids better be working because I ain't cleaning up after myself. That's not part of the deal either. That's more time out of my schedule. So the question is, you know, what's the stipulation here? Palace is too wishy-washy. Palace has too many stipulations going on that it's supposed to be surface level. Splatfest is pick a team and go, not pick a team on the stipulation that ... So Palace is out, man. I have to put a legal representation down there of, well, it also includes this and this and this. Like theme park, I don't care what happens. It's gonna be a great time. It'll be good. Beach, I mean, are we talking a beach on a good, nice day, or are we talking beach like? And is it a beach that has previously had a bunch of people all over the place? Is it during the season of spiders ballooning all over the beach? Like, what are we talking here with the beach as well? Is it nasty? Like, hey, there's lice everywhere in there, or what do they call them? Not lice, they call them, yeah, sand lice. Are there sand lice on this beach, or is it like, the stipulation, the same thing. Is it going to be a clean beach? Are there nasty things left over from the people that are not on the beach the day I have it? It's a stipulation thing. Give me theme park. Although it was mainly people overhearing my edgy jokes and snitching. Oh, both principal's office was a common occurrence. Not both, sorry, bro. Bro, principal's office was a common occurrence. I don't think I ever went to the principal's office. Yeah, I don't think there's a single time I went to the principal's office. We didn't really have any major drama like that going on anyways. Let's see. Eyoshi Gamer says, rent a palace so you just have a nice place to stay for a bit, play video games all day. Well, yeah, but I don't need a palace for that, man. Just give me give me the luxury suite at the top floor of a nice hotel if you're gonna do that. I don't need the whole palace to do that. Give me everybody that wants to play Smash in my life, whether I know them in person or stream. Just put them in the same room. We'll play Smash and eat junk food all day. Not even just junk food. Get me like burgers and such, hot dogs, bratwursts, things like that too. Not just junk food. Give me some protein, something good, something juicy and not good for me, but awesome tasting too. I, for just a second, skipped a heartbeat because I thought that was shiny. I don't know why. I think I looked over at the screen while that cloud was going over, and it looked darker, and I'm like, wait a minute, darker means Shaymin shined. That was just a 2 second, not even a 0.2 second heartbeat skip. Beach by yourself is boring? Well, yeah, that's the other thing. The beach by myself, do I get a lifeguard? I am not going to rent, or I shouldn't say rent, I'm not going to be given access to a beach for myself, no one else, for a whole day just so I can go drown. What a buzzkill. Drowning is definitely a buzzkill. Quote me on that. Quote me, don't clip me, but drowning is a buzzkill. Meadow says theme park and beach are like the only two good options. I can only agree that, like I say, palace is too many stipulations. If I am royalty at the palace, then great. The only problem with real royalty is usually it involves like trampling over servants and hoarding wealth. But if I'm just getting the royal treatment for a day, well then actually put that one back in there, because that's totally, I got that up there now. But that was not what the Splatfest theme said. That stipulation was not put in there. Bow, 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 bow. Hey, Raven, how are you doing? Lurking and standing by for that amazing moment that Shaymin will shine, because Shaymin will shine. To your point, Raven, Shaymin has waited a long time. These flowers that Shaymin is among here, these flowers are like a blooming in the spring thing. Shaymin brings a good harvest. Shaymin takes dead, rotting plants and brings them to vibrant colors. That's all springtime stuff. Shaymin, you waited till the summer. Are you ever gonna come out and bloom? Yeah, let's assume that, I guess you're right on that too. If I get the theme park for the day, the operators are still there. The machines aren't going to just operate themselves, because otherwise, well, I might not be able to actually operate the machine safely, or if I can't override safety mechanisms, I might not know how to put all the safety mechanisms in play to get the machine to start. Yeah, the same thing. You're going to have to assume all the operators are there. And that's if I even go on the rides. Honestly, a theme park, I might be able to just... Oh, I just bumped that. I didn't realize you can actually skip that with L. Look at that. Don't get the appeal of a beach alone. To be fair, I already have that appeal. There's so many beaches around me that I have beaches I can go to, and I'll be the only person there. I know, like, the secret little crevices where you're walking through a little bit of forest on a very, very small walkway, and then you pop out, and ta-da, you're there. You're on the beach, no one's there. I already know what that feels like. Meadow says, gotta go. See you in Splatfest. Meadow, you have an excellent weekend. I hope that you have excellent Salmon Run players. No more annoying Salmon Run players. May your day and your weekend be nice and relaxing and awesome for you. Everything copacetic, everything pleasant. Spider Monkey says, can't swim, so I'd probably be in the sand. And see, that's the other problem, too. The sand's not always the greatest thing in the world. Depending on the beach, depending on where you're at, that beach might just be filled with sand lice and nasty microbacteria that are going to cause you to have infections under your fingernails for 5 days and have to go to the doctor. Like, it could be a nightmare of a time, man. Now, I guess if you're talking about that, you're also speculating the amusement park probably has a little hand, foot, and mouth disease going on with all the people touching everything, especially on the rides. And then the palace, well, hey, the palace, I mean, if the palace has a staff, as I aforementioned before. I'm getting the royal treatment. I'm in the palace. I'm by myself. I've got a staff of maids that are going to clean everything up, sanitize it all. So that actually would go in favor of Team Palace. Theme park alone, gotta bring the squad. Well, I think that's, I would assume that's on the board too. You're not by yourself. You're by yourself with the company you keep as well. But to your point, I guess they didn't specify pro or con on that one. They never told you. They just told you it's yours. You could do whatever you want with it. Maybe you open it up to the general public and just tell them everything is free. Maybe that's on the board too. It's yours. You could do whatever you want with it. Raven says, beach alone means no weird people or creeps and a quiet time. So tranquility is definitely an option on that one. In that case, you can absolutely justify going Team Beach over Team Theme Park and Palace. Cosmic says, my big reason for not going to the beach, I'm not a beach person. I can't say that. I'm not a beach bro or a beach bum. I'm not on the beach every day, but I like having that ability, like when it's like, you know what, I want to go on the beach. I just want to kick back on the beach in the shade by myself or rock hunt or something. I have that option. Raven says, not everyone has a squad, so you can, that's the other thing too, is yeah, if you don't have the squad with you, like in my case, most of the people I know aren't actually near me, so they have to drive a long way to get here just to go to the beach, then yeah, you're looking for the tranquility of the beach, which is a valid option too, if that's what you're going for. The Splatfest theme does not say that is not an option. It just tells you which one would you be given access to do whatever you want with for a day. Yoshi Gamer on Splatoon 2. Holy crap. Splat 2, man. The last time I played Splatoon 2 was right after Octo Expansion. I decided to play a little bit of Splatoon 2. It was, I don't know, it was really refreshing. I will not get that feeling, and I did not share that feeling because I didn't record it. But I played Splatoon 2 after I unlocked all the Octo stuff, and it was just like, man, that was a feeling that was going back in time and I'll never have again, is going back to Splatoon 2 for a little while with new gear. Raven says, I've been with so-called friends and never enjoyed myself at the beach. All right, so no, you have, well, that and you might have really populous beaches in general, too. For me, I have, I don't know, probably 100 beaches around me. Like, there's beaches everywhere. I can get away from people if I want to. I can go to harbors if I want to. I can go to sand with no people around if I want to. I can even do, like, just a little bit of sand where you're on the edge of the water, but you're actually in the forest, where you're in forestation and just kind of on a wooden bench or a wooden walkway that basically two steps into sand and then you're touching water. I've got that as well available. To Cosmic's point, you're a pool person, you have access to a pool, so that is also a solid option why you would not go with Team Beach. I think Team Beach is in there for only the reason that it's summer. That's why it just felt like maybe they didn't capture the feeling of summer as well as they should have. It feels like maybe they could have gone with like boardwalk style, like instead of going with the theme park and the beach and the palace idea, go with like Team Coffee by the beach, Team Cotton Candy on the boardwalk, or Team Slushy, you know, something like that. It seems like they didn't really capture that summer theme as well. I guess we'll see what the ink looks like since we're going to have special ink. By the way, it literally looks like a horror movie right now when you spawn into Splatoon 3. All the masks, you walk into the room and you're like, whoa, this is not going to end well. Let's see, Archo says, ain't nothing taking me away from Team Theme Park. Free pool is the best. So free pool, solid option. Same thing, free pool, but are you by yourself? No lifeguard means you get into trouble, you drown. And drowning is a buzzkill. Raven says, theme park is overpopulated these days. And super freaking overpriced, by the way. I've heard Universal is a pretty decent deal, but I know Disney, for instance, forget it. Disney is so expensive now. She says, Splatoon 2 is such a fun game. I sometimes look back and miss the Splatoon 2 streams I had, knowing that either the people that I played with have moved to Splatoon 3 and maybe sold Splatoon 2, it's gone, or just the people that I play with never had Splatoon 2, so we can't go back to those days. Successfully downloaded update data. Well, as a matter of fact, that update data actually has relevancy. They added, as of this morning, yeah, it was like midnight of last night. They added new games to NES Online, and some of those games I've never heard of. One of them I know existed. And supposedly, like, I know it existed, I just can't believe the hype that's over it. There were so many people that were hype over this. Donkey Kong Jr. Math. It was an educational Donkey Kong game where it was basically playing Donkey Kong style, except you were solving math problems. And I knew it existed. I've never played it, but apparently people say that game was amazing. I'm like, really? I thought it was just a very young, you know, toddler level, maybe early childhood level game that was just designed to teach you math and keep you mildly amused. I can't believe that people were like, oh no, this game is amazing. I'm like, really? Heck yeah, Raven, we're gonna do it. This is gonna be it. Okay, I say that every stream, but you know what? To be fair, I've had a good streak of, recently anyways, I've had a good streak of calling my legendaries and getting them. So I was like, I had a feeling Darkrai was going to shine, and Darkrai shined. I have a feeling that Shaymin's going to shine, and this may not be the encounter, but maybe it's coming soon. I feel it. I feel it. Keep trying to squid roll. That's what happened to me, Yoshi. I was playing Octo Expansion, and I completely forgot I couldn't squid roll several times. There were several times I ran into that scenario where I was trying to squid roll and could not do it, or squid jump and could not do it. And I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm like, oh, I keep forgetting. Like, I wish they could patch that back into Splatoon 2. That would be a game breaker for Splatoon 2's meta, which may or may not. I mean, there's probably still people out there that are enthusiasts for Splatoon 2 in that sense that they value the metagame back in Splatoon 2 over where we're at today with Splatoon 3. So for them, the very small amount of people that may still be out there that are loyal to 2 in terms of meta competitive, they would be pissed. I would imagine. Well, maybe. I don't know, actually. Maybe they wouldn't. Would if you were to patch... That's a good question for you guys. If you were to patch squid rolling and squid jumping back into Splatoon 2 right now, do you think anybody would be pissed off? All right, Cosmic says, I'm probably going to sleep. Have a good stream. Good luck. Thank you very much, Cosmic. I appreciate the good words, my friend. It was a pleasure to see you. Selling it would get like nothing for it. I agree to an extent. You'd be surprised how many people are out there looking for those older games, but they don't want to pay even half of what the game would be new. So they're looking for a reputable, good condition, clean, old game that's used. Archer says they should do a two-team beach versus pool splatfest. I want to see the return of only 2 teams. I really do. By the way, Nito, we're going to talk about that Direct. Oh, that Direct. Oh, that Nintendo Direct, man. I know that Nintendo Directs. Hey, Vulpix, how are you doing? Caillou Run. Vulpix, welcome to the stream, and hello. How is your week going for you? It is the entrance of official summer, because there were places like me that I definitely am not truly into summer until end of June, start of July. So now everyone in my country and the Northern Hemisphere, I would say we're all summer. So how is your summer starting out / going it? Because if you're in like California, or if you're in Britain even right now, Britain's pretty much been... I would say Britain entered summer, started June, and they've just been toasty for a month already. For me, I actually, I got down to almost freezing in the middle of June. I could not believe there was a frost warning in June. And it wasn't like June 1st or 2nd, which would still be crazy. It was like June 10th or 15th. I'm like, bro, why are we freezing? It's a little late in the year for that, or into the season anyway. But at least I don't have crazy tornadoes and hurricanes and crap, so I just had pretty freaking cold temperature. Normally May is like, end of April. Yeah, you know what? I'd say all of April and some of May is usually like, oh, the heater's on. Oh, the AC's on. Oh, the heater's on. Oh, the AC's on. But that was going on in June. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, you're at 50 C. You are boiling almost anyway. You are literally melting over there. That is insane. I am not even close to that. I'm at like 26, maybe 27 C is going to be my guess. By day, I would say maybe 30 C, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty chilly out there right now, to be honest. Like, literally, I am not getting that cold or warm at all. Not even close. It is just a nice, calm breeze, no rain, like, no humidity. It's amazing right now. Weather has been decent, man. Heck yeah. Not everybody's that fortunate. So, Mario and Luigi looks awesome. I know I did not play the first one. Don't ask me why. I just did not want to play a Mario RPG for some reason. I feel foolish because that game is considered 10 out of 10. So, that game definitely has my interest peaked. Metroid Prime 4, man. If there is a game that I've been waiting for forever that wasn't Final Fantasy VII Remake, where it feels like it was never going to happen, it was Metroid Prime 4. I loved... In fact, I have forgotten so many details about Prime. I want to go back and do the whole thing again because I feel like I really want to appreciate the story again since it's been so long since Metroid Prime 1. 2, Echoes, I'm on the fence about. 3, I have forgotten a lot of. Other M, I don't even think I don't even know if I finished Other M, to be honest. No, I finished it. I don't remember much about Other M. Other M was sketchy, put it that way. I like to defend things that people attack. Other M is not one of them. Other M was questionable at times on story. But the lore, that's the thing that I have forgotten so much lore. Metroid Prime Hunters, man. No one played that game. Rephrase. Everyone played it for a very, very short amount of time. It was a spark that turned into a very bright, fast fire. It was nitrocellulose. That's a great way to put it. It was a fire made from nitrocellulose. It burned hot and intense, but it was gone before you even could blink. That's what Metroid Prime Hunters was. Popular when it came out, all but forgotten about now. I played that game. And I loved the multiplayer on that, by the way. Back in the day, that was amazing. Volpix says, "Indeed, we are burning here. I cannot send you my cold, but if I could, I would. Hopefully you're staying cool. Don't overheat and melt, and don't be miserable." Marvel vs. Capcom has a beyond loyal following. I don't play those games, but I appreciate Capcom as one of my favorite companies in terms of what they do and how they do it and how they manage their employees. And so their moral integrity, I would say, is probably one of the highest in all of gaming. So I always love seeing when Marvel versus Capcom and games that Capcom has produced it fire up the fans because they're getting a new life. So that was really nice to see in the Direct. Let's see. I think it's winter down here. All right, so still hot some days. I was gonna say, if you're... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you're... I know exactly where you're at. So you're Southern Hemisphere, so for sure it's flipped for you. I have a friend in South Africa, and she's in winter right now, and it's sometimes... It's funny to remember that... yeah, that's Cosmic, I believe, not to say too much. So my friend in South Africa, it's funny when she's telling me how cold it is, and I'm like, yeah, that's hilarious. I keep forgetting that you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Because, I mean, South Africa doesn't feel to me like I forget how easy it is to... Or it's easy to forget that South Africa is Southern Hemisphere, so they're the opposite of us. Because when I hear her talking, I always assume that she's along with the other UK, you know? That South Africa is similar to any other European country. Or not any other, just other countries near her, like European countries. And then I remember, I'm like, no, that's right, you're in winter. Bam, 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 bam. All right, Shaymin, it's been a while. I think you're overdue. I think it's time. Killed someone with a sprinkler. All right, Yoshi, nicely done. In Splatoon 2 as well, of all things. I used to ask myself if the sprinkler could do damage, and then it was live on a stream. In fact, if I was smart, I would have clipped that moment. I'll never find it again. But I died to a sprinkler, and I'm like, well, I guess that answers that. I've always wondered if the sprinkler can hurt you. And it tells you, like, it calls it something ridiculous, too. It doesn't just say death by sprinkler. It actually calls it out, like, basically, bro, you died to a sprinkler. What are you doing out here, you fool? It's not light about it. It jokes about whatever the name is when you die to a sprinkler. I don't remember what it says, but it is funny. I don't know if I would take winter over summer since I can throw on a jumper and I'm good. Oh, wait, I think I would take winter. So it depends. My winters. Oh, you are in for it with my winters. The snow is awesome, although lately it's been absolute trash. We haven't gotten that much snowfall in the past years. But the cold, I don't have that much cold. I'm fortunate that my summers don't involve, or my winters rather, don't involve a lot of cold. By the way, I just realized how many of you guys liked on this stream. If you left me a like on this stream, thank you for taking the time to do that. I really appreciate that. For me, my winters aren't as cold as, like, Chicago, but the snowfall is brutal. Now, it hasn't been brutal recently, but I'm talking 10 foot a season, like, lots of snow. Like, wake up, shovel a foot, go to work. Now, I have not had that in a couple years, so to be fair, right now you come here, forget it. But, yeah, pretty much. I'm not in Canada, but I'm close. So, I get brutal snowfall. I got to snowmobile. Ready for this? How many times did I snowmobile? Hey, Hero! Hero, how are you doing? Hero Green, how did you get access to this event? Literally, when the game came out. I've had this event open since the game came out, when they ran the event maybe a month and a half, 2 months after they released these remakes. This is the OG event. I just never caught Shaymin. This is where I was. This is my journey. I'll show you guys, catch you up here on what did my journey look like. Either way, the snowmobiling thing, how many times did I snowmobile last season? 1. It was trash snowfall, man. I'm supposed to get 10 feet. I got 10 inches probably. 1 time I snowmobiled. So my famous stream was this guy right here, Dialga. I speed ran that thing, dude, to get to Dialga, and I shiny hunted it on opening day. I loved it because Dialga is one of my favorite shiny hunts. The music is just epic. Dialga looks sweet in that color. From there, we went to this guy, and that was immediate. So I did the events. I opened up the events right after that. I grabbed the Shaymin event and the Darkrai event, and then I went shiny hunted Giratina and got stuck here for the rest of my life. I was literally here for like a year and a half. And maybe it wasn't a crazy amount of, I don't remember, we estimated, I think, 20,000 encounters, which ate my words about I never have long encounters, I never have long hunts. So this guy took a long time, man. Darkrai is my favorite shiny of all time, and it took me a while. So all I did was come back here. So I've had this event since it came out, and I finally came back, and I'm doing it. I'm finally doing it. So it was actually funny because when I caught Darkrai, I had a feeling Darkrai was... I felt like that stream... I streamed it because I felt good about that day. Darkrai shined, and I'm like, well, I never even thought about what I was going to do after Darkrai. I'm like, I guess Shaymin's up next. And Shaymin, I have never caught a shiny Shaymin. Darkrai, that was my second one. Dialga was... I think that was also... No, that was my third shiny Dialga. 2 in Diamond. I did that hunt twice. And then I did this hunt, so that was my third shiny Dialga. Shaymin, I've never even caught a Shaymin. I've never had a Shaymin a single time, not even the non-shiny version. I never even did the event in the original Diamond. In the original Diamond, I used the Dark Void glitch or exploit to get to Darkrai. Arceus, action replay, but I never even caught Shaymin. So Shaymin is, and Cresselia. I never caught Cresselia either, but that's a whole different story. So I came here. I carved Raven's name on the stone because Raven, who was just in chat and lurking, this was at a time that I was having a pretty rough time around my birthday, and so Raven, this name is forever for you carved into this rock. I shiny hunted Shaymin a little bit, and for my birthday, and then after that I went and grabbed Darkrai. Because I think the 2 events came out at different times, if I recall. Shaymin came out, and then it was a few days later, or like 2 weeks later, for the new moon that Darkrai's event dropped. So they weren't coinciding with each other. So I got Darkrai, and then I got stuck on that island for a year and a half. So I'm literally coming back here after all that time. Bow, bow, bow. I feel almost kind of bad about that, Archo. Is that I rushed BDSP, sort of. I mean, I know this game like the back of my hand. I could almost speed run Gen 4. Gen 4 was the height of my Pokemon career. I was literally a professional. And it wasn't that I wasn't appreciating everything, but yeah, I speed ran this game because I knew it so well. I was just appreciating that. But Legends, I loved Legends. My favorite Pokemon game ever was Legends Arceus. Sun and Moon, I know, this is weird. I grew up in Gen 1, went into Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4. I skipped 5, but that's because I wasn't gaming around that time. I was focusing on school. So I skipped 5 and 6, and then I come back for 7. I loved Alola. Sun and Moon, Sun and Moon. Not Ultra Sun and Moon, just Sun and Moon. Favorite Pokemon games right there and then. I loved them. They were great. And that is a crazy statement. That I thought Sun and Moon were my favorite games. That lasted a couple of years. And then along comes Legends Arceus. And boom, instantly my favorite game ever. And I did post the end of the game, but I should have done the whole playthrough. I had such a fun time. You should have seen, man. I should have posted that playthrough. I should have recorded it and posted it. I was having the time of my life. I want to do another playthrough on stream again. That game was fantastic. That's why I feel bad that I didn't get a chance to, I didn't give myself the chance. I just enjoyed that game without recording it. I did stream it a few times, and I loved it. Raven's lurking out there, but Raven and I had a hilarious moment. I did the Darkrai battle in Legends Arceus, and I didn't know where Darkrai was at. All I knew was I beat the game, I'm overpowered, nothing's going to give me a problem, right? And Raven and I, we are the only two people. There is no one in chat except for Raven, so she and I are just trying to figure out where Darkrai was, because I was a little confused about finding Darkrai. And we're just sitting there, just one-on-one. And let me tell you, 0 to 100, we find Darkrai literally at midnight my time. And I'm like, hey, Raven, I think we just found Darkrai. And I posted a shorts of this because we're walking in there. I don't have any lights on in my room. I'm just like, okay, there's Darkrai. We're walking in, we're kind of laughing, and my God, Darkrai starts laying the smack down on me. And I'm like, what are you doing? I already beat the game. You can't beat my ass. I'm overpowered. I was not prepared for Darkrai. It was so funny, man. That was such a great time at the end of that last stream that I did. That was probably the last time that I streamed Legends Arceus was for that. Now, in terms of like streaming, my favorite time was Gen 9. When we were doing survival nights. Hero Green, thank you so much for the subscription. I am truly honored. I hope that every single time you come by my channel, you get the same vibes that you got here that caused you to hit subscribe. I will not let you down. Thank you so much, truly. Okay, so that's another thing, too, is, like, I think we can all agree that Arceus is not the star of that game in terms of, like, the moment everyone remembers. For me, I will never forget the fact that I finally got the Aether Flute. Years later, after it was denied to me way back in the day, after they decided not to release that event, I got the Aether Flute, and I fought God. Do you have any idea in Gen 4 the hype that was happening when we were going from like birds that are legendary to a tragic set of trio and semi-gods, you know, god of the sea and god of whatever Ho is. And then we went into Gen 3 and we're like, okay, Rayquaza is kind of a god, sort of. It felt very godly. And you had, like, demigods in Kyogre and Groudon. And, you know, Emerald, it was epic. And, you know, we were starting to get some really crazy legendaries. We got the Wishmaker. We wanted to get that Pokemon, but you have to have the disc to get that on a GameCube. And then Deoxys was never released because screw you guys. So they didn't release Deoxys, but we knew it was out there, and it was a beast. And then we got the Delta episode. So when Gen 4 comes around, we have gods. And it is absolutely insane. Almost a case of too many cooks in the kitchen with all the legendaries and mythicals we have now. But we had gods. It's insane. I went back to that mentality when I fought Arceus in Legends, where I'm like, dude, it is like we're here. Arceus didn't feel very epic back in Gen 4. It was a dog with powers. We loved that ring that it had, which that ring has a name that I have long since forgotten in culture. But it could change its type, which was absolutely insane, but it didn't feel very epic because nobody talked about Arceus. There was a church I don't remember the name of the town, but there was a church in the game that kind of addressed the whole Arceus situation, but otherwise, we didn't get background on Arceus. We just sort of accepted, oh, it's there. We got the movie, but that was about it, and that movie wasn't really that great. So, we never got that epic encounter, like, you just blew the flute, walked up some stairs, and fought God. That was it. Legends Arceus fixed all of that and gave me my favorite Pokemon playthrough ever. Freaking loved it, dude. Absolutely loved it. Yep, Volo is the big thing, too. Volo was insane. I love that they did that with him. He is the most threatening personality in any Pokemon game. I don't care about any of the big bads. Even Giovanni. Volo is unhinged, dude. Loved it. It was like I said, back in Gen 7 with Sun and Moon. I said Gen 7 really surprised me because it was so mature for a Pokemon game. It was dealing with trauma elements, with Lucamine being a bad mother and forcing, or not forcing, but causing her daughter to take the burden on of taking care of her mother as if she had to. Even though it really shouldn't be her responsibility, she was affected permanently by this unhinged, crazy mom that she had who was, like, drop dead hot. But I digress, is that I was surprised that that element was put into the game. I thought Gen 7 was surprisingly mature. Volo was mature on a different level. He was just straight up unhinged and ambitious, and he was a damn cheater and a hacker. And it was like, I love this. This is insane. They have upped the ante so much that I hate to have... I have high expectations. I hate to do it for Legends ZA. Because I am convinced that it's going to be crazy. They're going to up the game even further. They're going to have to. I mean, look what they did with Legends Arceus, which, to an extent, how can you up it from there? You fought God. What is higher than that? You put God in a Pokeball and said, where's your God now? I mean, how do you go higher than that? So it's going to be insane. And if it doesn't deliver, I'm going to be setting myself up for failure. But at the end of the day, I can't help but just be a damn kid again because I'm like, dude, Legends is going to be so sick. I can't wait for another one. It's going to be awesome. Bam, bam, bam. So Yoshi says, I kept throwing a sprinkler over a wall on Kelp Dome. I miss Kelp Dome, man. I miss Kelp Dome. And Kenza Splattershop kept destroying it, and the whole thing lasted an entire minute before an Aerospray PG came and splatted you. Very unfortunate. It ends with the noob weapon of all noob weapons, which happened to be my Splatfest main coming in to take you. Archer says, he was actually pretty tough. Oh, God, he was way tough, dude. Survival Nights. Ah, dude, that was such a good time. In terms of streaming, it added so much to the game. That playthrough of mine, oh, man. My Nuzlocke playthrough was insanely awesome. I love it. I will go back occasionally and just watch moments from that Nuzlocke and the live streams for Violet, rather, because it was so fun. I had so much fun, and it was intense. And then, dude, Indigo Disc, that Nuzlocke, built on that so insanely, because I was all of a sudden extremely challenged, fighting for my life, and I did not expect Indigo Disc to go that way. The ending of my Indigo Disc Nuzlocke, I was like, dude, I feel like I accomplished something in my life here. I actually feel legit like I have put the work in and made a major accomplishment. It was crazy. to an extent, I almost say that my playthrough made it far more enjoyable than if I wasn't doing a playthrough of that game on a challenge like I was, because it was good. I was not prepared for them to take the route they did, very mature as well in Gen 9. Not quite like 7. It was, in Gen 9, it was a little more unbelievable with the sci-fi element to it, but it was still a very mature game. I was very attached to that story. The Indigo Disc part would have been kind of plain if I hadn't upped the ante a little bit. Bow, bow, bow. Hey, Mr. Phenomenal, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Grinding for shiny Hoppip. Good luck to you, my dude. Heck yeah, we are in the same boat. We're looking for grass types. I'm looking for a little hedgehog that's going to bring the dawn of spring and summer, except it kind of forgot that the season is here, so it's just leading me along instead. You're looking for Hoppip, which, you know what? Hoppip? Yeah, Hoppip's solid. Jumpluff, though. I do love that shiny. I love shiny Jumpluff. Jumpluff was a Pokemon I think I enjoyed it more when it came out than most people did. I don't know why, but Jumpluff, and it was weird when I found out how small it was. It's funny to see the actual size of that Pokemon, but I always enjoyed Jumpluff, man. I liked Jumpluff. I know that the grass type everyone was gravitating towards at the time was Bellossom. So did I. You guys saw my shiny hunt with Giratina. I literally EV trained a shiny Bellossom instead of regular, which broke my rule because I never shiny hunt with my shinies. It takes too much time, and it's just, who am I flexing on doing resets with my shinies at the front of the party? That was the exception, though, because I had a Tyranitar, and I needed that Tyranitar for Giratina, and it happened to be shiny, so I used it. And plus, not only that, you're resetting before it shines anyways in that game. But then I also had a second member of that team that was shiny, and that happened to be my Bellossom. However, that does not diminish how awesome I think Jumpluff is. I've always been I've been a fan of that design since it came out. I'm a dip for a little bit. All right, Archer, man, you take care, my friend. You said Gen 9 did it well with Kieran's inferiority complex. I thought they did treat that very well. I can't say it was very believable, so I wasn't super attached to it, but it was a good story. It was definitely solid. Teal Mask was all right. I agree. Teal Mask was dipping your toe in the DLC. It was nice. It was relaxed. It was a fun time. Everything was calm. It was cool. You were just exploring. You know, you're having a good time. Nice vacation. And then Indigo Disc was the, all right, feet in the water. You're going in the deep end. Have fun. Get wrecked. And especially doing that as a blind Nuzlocke, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I loved my playthroughs. Not to flex my own work, but my God, my Gen 9 playthrough was fun, dude. I had such a good time. That's why I don't understand sometimes where it's like, I think the faith in the Pokemon company has been low. The only thing that's low is their graphics. They need to, you know what they need to do? They need to call Bandai Namco again and tell them just handle all the graphics. Because when they came out with Pokemon Snap, let me tell you this one. Here's an unpopular opinion. The new Pokemon Snap, you will never see anybody hate that game because it's a solid game. It's just not action-oriented. I will go and say it. Pokemon Snap, the new Pokemon Snap, 10 out of 10 perfect. That game was perfect. And having Bandai Namco do all the graphic design for it was the greatest decision they ever could have made. And if they had Bandai Namco do all of the Pokemon games, this series would fly so high, it would never come down. I hate when the cloud is passing over Shaymin right as it spawns, because it gives me a little heartbeat skip, because I see something dark come onto the screen, and that's what I'm waiting for, is something to add some dark shade pigment into that back to turn it teal green. So I'm waiting for something darker, and when the cloud passes over right as it spawns, I'm like, oh, we're doing it, you know, just for a split second. I'm like, here it goes, nope. Here's it, nope. Squid flopping in 2 was so much, dude, squid flopping in 2 was literally like, it was so insulting, and it was funny that way. It was really great. It was so good they had to nerf it. Like, of all the things to nerf, they nerfed squid flopping in 2 because people felt it was too insulting to get squid bagged in Splatoon 2. So in Splatoon 3, they made it look horrible. I'm like, is that really the reason you want to take away from the appeal of your own game? Is because you're getting squid flops in games? Isn't your reporting system even better than... Or, no, I'm sorry, it was almost non-existent in 2. You have a reporting system. If you want squid flopping to be bannable, make that obvious. That way people don't do that. Shoot you, kill you, and squid flop all over you. But the appeal of the squid form was so much better. That transition was so much better in 2. So I poured this cup of coffee right as I started the stream, and it's in that perfect zone where it's cooled off. It's not hot, but it's warm. So it's kind of cold, kind of warm, just right up there in that not quite room temperature, just almost room temperature, maybe a couple degrees over room temperature. Perfect for this. All right, Shaymin, I say it's time, man. I'm on a holiday, and I say it's time that you shine for us and make something happen here. Alright, Shaymin, work with me. There's flowers that need to bloom, and you need to bloom as well. I do love the runaway method. I'm not one for setting up glitch runaway methods like in the old school days. I know that some of the... I call myself the most devoted shiny hunter. I do not call myself the most avid shiny hunter. There are a lot of shiny hunters out there that they spend a lot more time doing it than I do. I used to spend a lot of time doing it, by the way. But they do things crazy like setting glitches up in old games. I don't do that. But one thing I have missed is runaway hunts. Runaway hunts is something that I just feel like I haven't gotten to enjoy in so long. I think Mew was the last time I did a runaway hunt, and gifted that Mew away to a good friend that I don't talk to anymore. ... Either way, I haven't gotten to do runaway method in so long. I just feel good doing runaway. It's so much nicer to do runaway than it is to do soft resetting. Nothing wrong with soft resetting. I obviously soft reset it about 200, 300, 400,000 times in my lifetime. But runaway is so much more pleasant. Alright, Shaymin, waiting for you. I'm thinking, so what I was saying earlier to anybody that might be lurking out there, currently, Naya is my recording partner for a series called I Can't Believe You Never Played. That series involves games that were from our childhood, youth, teenager, actually, mostly for her. Games that one of us loved. 10 out of 10 enjoyed it, 9 out of 10, maybe even 8 out of 10. Just games that were like way up there. Yet the other person has never played those games. For her, it was everything Zelda. So we're going through that. I am at the water temple right now. I'm going to be posting that. I actually rendered that video over on her computer, which is still here because she's supposed to be coming over today to pick it up so that we can record Majora's Mask. And after Majora's Mask, we're going to go into Wind Waker, where I'm going to do a mix of recorded. Right now, we do one on her channel, one on mine. We're going to do a mix of recorded as the game starts. Then when the exploration part starts, we're going to live stream it. I'm pretty sure that's what we've agreed upon. So we're going to live stream Wind Waker when we're doing that, where I'll probably, hopefully, be on Game Boy. I will attach it. We're doing the old school Wind Waker, so I'm going to attach the Game Boy to the GameCube. She's going to be on the controller playing Link. I'm going to be playing Tingle on the Tingle Tuner and reading the chat. That's what's coming on the channel. Jumpluff is an underrated Pokemon. I just love the design. I love when simple designs work so well. I got a silly story. On my Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl run, I wanted Slackoff. If you don't know, the only way to get it is from the Poke Radar in the forest from Floramora Town. I've never been able to say it. Screw it. The only way that I could think of getting him was from Scarlet by catching a Venomoth in the wild. I had never started my Scarlet save, so I had to grind for 5 hours of Scarlet to get... Venoroth. You mean Slack? No, you're going for Slackoff. Yeah, Venonat. I was around Gym 4 in BDSP, so Radar wasn't close. That's probably about the halfway point of the story, but I'm committed to this. I've got a fun fact for you, actually, after you're done with that. Oh, no, that was the story. Okay. You grinded for 5 hours running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you were doing. Yeah, without the radar. So the radar is like my child. I wrote back in 2006, 2007, whenever this game came out around there, I would say 1 year after release, I submitted and wrote one of like the guides for how to use the Poke Radar. I will be the first to admit, my logic in that guide was not perfect. How I thought and felt the radar worked was not mathematic. I did not know the math behind it. I just knew how many spaces away from encounter spots. So I actually taught a whole generation of hunters, or at least I was one of the sources. There were not that many guides out there. I'd say a dozen at most. And I was one of them, and I posted YouTube videos on how to use the Poke Radar way back when it was new. And I was like, that YouTube channel, which I have canned because I had my voice on a really crappy mic that I used to use for Ventrilo, and I was a teenager, so I hated my voice anyways. I had like, I think about 15,000 subscribers, and just, I was like, I felt like it, man. I was the guy. I was the OG shiny hunter. I was like, dude, I learned shiny hunting and all of this when I was a child on an old GameFAQs and Envision free websites for shiny hunters that we were arguing if, or they were arguing if shiny hunting was even real or not back in Gen 2. So when I caught that Lugia and I was screaming, I was a child that was screaming when I found the shiny Lugia, when I finally verified that shiny hunting was real. By the time Gen 4 came out, a lot of those guys weren't playing Pokemon anymore. And there was a whole new generation of shiny hunters. And shiny hunting was all, Gen 3 was all full odds. There was nothing you could do in Gen 3 to lower the odds, or I should say increase the odds. So it was just, if you wanted to shiny hunt, you reset stuff. So when Gen 4 had alternative methods like Masuda and Radar, and I stumbled upon Radar and I started figuring the kinks out on how Radar worked, I thought I should write a guide. And all of a sudden, there's all these people that are telling me all these Pokemon that they caught using the Radar method. And I was like, holy crap, dude. I'm the inventor, man. I'm the guy. I wrote the guide. Yoshi Gamer says, fun fact, I bought Splatoon 2 after I bought Splatoon 3 because I wanted to go back in time and see the chaos of Splatoon 2. Oh, man. Yoshi Gamer, I had some of my favorite streams back in Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2, I got into the game because I started streaming. Originally, my plans for this channel were to do edited playthroughs. I was an intense Pokemon player. OG Shiny Hunter, VGC Champion. I was committed to this series. And then I dipped out and I was focusing on school. I didn't buy Pokemon Black, which by the way burned me really bad. I could have bought those games for $30. Now I got to pay $300, you know. So I got lucky with Pokemon Black 2 back there. I found it literally for $5. I posted it on Twitter and some people congratulated me. Some people called me a robber, but I found Black 2 at an estate sale for $5. Either way, the same day that I bought an OG copy of Shadow Hearts, by the way, I felt like a king that day. I couldn't believe I found Shadow Hearts of all games. And I found Pokemon Black 2. Anyway, so I wanted to log my progression, coming back to Gen 7 at the time, then going to Gen 5 and 6, which I know I meant to do that. I still mean to do that. Gen 5 is up next. Oh, I guess I have the clock set for the wrong time. It just transitioned into night. Anyway, so I intended that, and then it was like, I should shiny hunt on a live stream. That'd be fun. There's people that do that. Yeah, let me do that. So I started shiny hunting on live streams because I was posting videos of my shiny hunts, but I'm like, yeah, I could totally do the actual hunt on a live stream as well. Plenty of people do that. So that's where it kind of all started. And then immediately I said, well, if I'm going to live stream, I kind of want to live stream this new Smash Bros. Game that came out because I always played Smash Bros. Now, long story short, I used to think that I was just a god at games. I thought I was a gifted gamer, so Pokemon wasn't the only competitive game I thought I should try. I tried to be a competitive player in Smash Bros. Melee. I ate dirt. I was no good, man. I practiced and practiced and practiced, and my biggest success was making it to the second round, maybe the third round at like a local GameStop during a local tournament. I was not good. For all the practice I put in, I was not good. Either way, So I thought Friday Night Smash. I want to do a casual competitive. People like me that I know my way around the controls and the techs, but I also want to just throw 4 players instead of 2, and I kind of want to turn items on sometimes, and that's how Friday Night Smash was born. So Friday Night Smash was going. Well, I had always been attracted to the Splatoon games, particularly because I have an interest in paint, formulation of paint, the chemistry of paint, and I know the resins, I know the pigments, I know the grinding process behind paints. So I thought, hey, I really like this game. I'm going to check this out. And it ended up being that I thought, hey, I'm going to stream a little bit of this game, Splatoon 2. I can stream with people. And the rest is history, man. I had great memories, great Splatfests, amazing streams. I loved Splatoon 2, man. That game was amazing. So when Splatoon 3 came out, I was excited, but also a little sad that I had to watch Splatoon 2 fade away. When Splatoon 3 came out, a lot of the people that I knew, they didn't have Splatoon 3 right away. I mean, it's a full-price headliner game. It's a first-party title. So I said, you know what? I'm going to stream Splatoon 3, and then halfway into the stream, or maybe 3/4 of the way into the stream, pull Splatoon 3 out and go back to Splatoon 2. That way, anybody can play. If you don't have Splatoon 3 yet, we're playing 2. If you only have 3, then we're playing 3 as well. So it was the perfect transition from 2 to 3. I value those memories, man. I value those memories. Got a sniffle. I was going to sneeze. Mr. Phenomenal says, man, the brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl Shiny Charm is the most lame Shiny Charm out of any game. It only nerfs egg odds for catching 400 Pokemon. Yeah, not only is that the case, I'm a full odds guy. I don't even use the Shiny Charm. I've never used it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to use it, but it is kind of funny how the Shiny Charm got a big nerf in this game. To an extent, I respect it because easy shinies, it's not a problem, honestly. I mean, people have been hacking shinies. Back in like 2007, you could go on eBay and find game cartridges of Diamond and Pearl that were full Pokedex, 6IV everything, shiny everything. You buy it, you pay money for it, they ship it to you, it's been action replay, boom, you got every shiny in the game, just like that. And you can go brag to your heart's content. You can go lie to everybody about where you got the shiny from. In fact, that's an easy way to build a YouTube channel. Just hack all your shinies in, so you're guaranteed, like, you can just stage your encounters. Oh my god, a shiny Shaymin! Yeah, it's because you hacked it, so when it spawned, it was shiny. You know? I'm not all about that, but that is the basis in my mind that shinies are not valuable. The story behind the shiny is what's valuable. So I don't mind what the odds are when I caught it, or you caught it, or whatever. I just don't use the shiny charm because I never did before, so why would I now? That's my only logic on that. So just a fun little background, though. Moral of the story, I don't use the shiny charm. But every shiny story is unique to the person that caught it. It's not special to everybody else out there because you don't even know if it's fake or real. Well, hell, look at me. When YouTube Shorts first came out, I posted the Dialga that I have in Diamond. I've hunted that one twice. The first one was way back. First playthrough ever of that game. I stopped hunted Dialga in 2006, I think is when the game came out. And I caught, or 2007, I think it was 2007. So I caught Dialga and then I continued my playthrough, just like I did with this game. And the second one I caught was in like 2018. I decided to shiny hunt another one on that cartridge I found at the garage sale. I posted that Pokemon as a YouTube Shorts, and my God, there were so many comments about fake, fake, fake. I'm like, is that the world we've come to? Is that everybody's like, everything around me is fake? So I'm like, it was kind of, that was a big eye-opener too, that I'm like, yeah, the shiny does not hold value outside of anybody except the person that caught it. The story is unique to you. Even if it's a very hard shiny to find, if it was a shiny Manaphy, crazy, or a Gen 1 shiny. Gen 1 shinies are a crazy story, but the person that it matters to is the person that caught it, and of course, if anybody's posting on YouTube, the money they made off the video. I guess that's always a thing too, but my point is, the story means more than the shiny itself sometimes. The shifty stations. God, I miss shifty stations. I really miss shifty stations. That was one of the coolest things, was seeing new levels So the Splatfest would come up, and it's like, oh my god, we're all going to experience a brand new stage together for the first time. And first off, some of those worked and some of them didn't. Bridge to Tentabithia, for instance, absolutely terrible stage, but it was fun to experience a terrible stage as part of a Splatfest. Then when the game finished and Splatoon 2 support ended, and we got the final Splatfest and all of that, all of a sudden they tell us, all right, we're giving you all the shifty stations for your private battles. Go have fun. I'm like, we can mess around with the Pearl Cannon anytime we want? Oh my god, dude, this is sick. That's the way I look at it anyway, Mr. Phenomenal. That's kind of my philosophy. I need to go blow my nose really quickly. But yeah, I've always kind of had that philosophy, but it was really cemented recently. That philosophy started back in Gen 4, to be honest, because I did all this shiny hunting. Crazy amounts of shiny hunting. And I found out, and I was almost offended, that there was a method called the cute charm method. Basically, your trainer ID pops out in a very specific sequence that matches up with a Pokemon who is at the front of your party that has cute charm. Screws the whole math up behind the programming and causes, like, your shiny odds are literally 1 in 3. So you're walking around the game and, like, almost 33% of the Pokemon you encounter are shiny. And I thought, oh my god, this is so lame. There's a glitch. Now, I will admit it's a very hard glitch to set up. So you have to restart your entire playthrough multiple times. So the time you put into setting that glitch up it's a story in itself. However, when I was in that day, 2007, and I found out about the cute charm glitch, I was just like, oh man, you gotta be kidding. There's a glitch in the game that causes you to get every shiny I spent time hunting, except you get it in like 2 seconds, like it's nothing, and they're all legit, so you can't tell that they're fake. I felt cheated. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, why do I feel cheated? That doesn't impact how many shinies I've got. And I gave, most of my shinies, I gave them to people around me. And the people around me, my friends that were like, oh my god, I love this shiny. There was somebody that loved Staraptor so much that I caught a shiny Starly with the radar method. And she loved bragging about, oh my god, he got me my favorite Pokemon shiny. And I remember, and I'm like, yeah, the cute charm glitch or the action replays don't take away from that story or that feeling. It's just a matter of, if I were to tell the internet, I've got a shiny Starly, what do you have? Everyone's got a shiny Starly, because if they want to, they can have it in 2 seconds. Not hard. They just find somebody that hacked in 20 of them, and can I have one? Or somebody with cute charm, can I have one, So I was like, it's the story that matters way more than the actual object, which is the shiny. That's kind of where that all started. Just a fun little Nito Marquee background for you. I still gotta go blow my nose. I'll be right back. Meadow says, back, but I won't stay for that long. I just wanted to say that I reached rank B yesterday, and I got 7 gold scales. Those gold scales are so crazy to get, so congratulations for sure, Meadow. I saw your comment, too, about RIP to Big Run. I really want Big Run to be integrated into private battles. If truly there are no more Big Runs, if the Triumvirate was the end, which, by the way, Triumvirate this weekend. I'm out of town, but Triumvirate is the Salmon Run boss of the weekend right now. Or this weekend, rather. But I'm certainly hoping that they add Big Run as an option. In fact, I'd love them to give us all the stages. Just do a quick design of all the rest of the stages. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Be right back. Give me 1 sec. Eyoshi says, I wish that you could freely recon stages in Splatoon 2. 90% of the reason to recon a stage, glitches. People want to figure out the glitches and, trying to think what the mall level in Splatoon 2 was. The famous loss that I had of a 100x battle in Chaos versus Order. somebody discovered the glitch where you could go under the stage and walk around. So you could go into the shop, walk around, and actually be like by the bicycles and all that. With Recon, it's easier to figure those glitches out. Sorry, hang on one second. Had to get some liquid down my throat here. It was felt like something sharp in there. Mr. Phenomenal says, I was really mad about the first shiny I ever got. I had heard shiny hunts were easy in the new hit game, Let's Go Pikachu. I hunted Raticate. Long story short, I have a shiny Pidgeot called Failure. So, you were, since that was your first shiny hunt, that was with Let's Go, it was the idea that you gave up your chain for that Raticate. But that was before, that was like, I don't know, there was a weird culture that giving up the chain was giving up something important. Like, you couldn't rebuild that chain easily, you know? It's, it was kind of funny watching people go through that, where it was like, oh my god, I had to give up my chain. I'm like, you spent, what, 45 minutes building that chain? You could build another one. You'll get it. I shiny hunted Chansey while I was sick in Let's Go, and actually that's a video I have. It just I don't have audio because I was sick, and it was really fun. Like I found 3 Chansey, and then I broke my chain on a Magmar, and I was like, dude, that was a sick little hunt that just happened in the Pokemon Mansion. I will give you a really good story. I have a stream on this channel along with a video that coincides with it. It was my favorite Let's Go hunt. That is including Mewtwo. Mewtwo was crazy. I think Mewtwo was 30,000 encounters, and it lasted 4 years. Every single February, whatever it is that Mewtwo's birthday is, I streamed that shiny Mewtwo hunt. And every time I was back here on my bike working out, I decided, oh, I'm going to invent a new method. It's called the shiny workout. I'm like, I'm going to shiny hunt while I'm biking on the trainer. Yeah, that shot me in the foot, man. 4 years. When I finally caught Mewtwo, I was AFK for it. I made it back and caught it. But regardless, Mewtwo was insane and is by far the worst hunt I've ever done. I had to open my mouth and be like, oh, 15, 20 years of shiny hunting, I've never gone over 10K. Mewtwo was like, all right, bet. That was a great hunt, but that was not my favorite. My favorite hunt was actually not a shiny hunt. It was a 6 IV Ditto hunt. By the way, I never even used that Ditto. I wanted to do meme teams. I wanted to do stupid stuff in competitive, and I never got around to the time to do it in Gen 8. But I went for a 6 IV Ditto. That was in the Pokemon Mansion basement, and I caught 3 shiny Ditto, and I did it all on a live stream that was just crazy amounts of fun. I loved that stream, dude. Never found the 6 IV Ditto. Caught 2 5 IV Dittos. I went to grab dinner down the street, came back, finished the hunt. It took me like 20 minutes after I grabbed dinner, and I found the 6 IV Perfect Ditto. That hunt was in Let's Go, and I loved that hunt, dude. That was a great hunt. Hey, Meadow! Tomorrow's your birthday! You got a July 5th birthday. Happy birthday, Meadow. I hope that tomorrow is an amazing day for you. I hope that you enjoy it truly. I hope you get something special, whether it be a gift or a good time. Something that you're looking forward to, want, and have a good time. As I have hiccups. I gave myself hiccups with this coffee. I keep bragging it's so good. Alright, I think we're good. Sort of. Tail end of the hiccups. So, Meadow, I hope that you have a Splatoon spectacular, amazing birthday. I hope that you get to do the things that you want, and if you're going to get gifts, personally, I hope that there's a Splatoon amiibo included in there. I bet that's something that you would enjoy. By the way, those amiibos are always really high quality. I noticed, like, amiibo quality is pretty solid. Birthday is on recycling day. Hell yeah, Mr. Phenomenal. I had, my birthday this year was on Friday, and it was the first time since I started streaming that I had a Friday birthday. So I got to do Friday Night Smash live on my birthday. That was pretty cool, because anymore, I feel like my birthday is just, it's not a big deal. My friends send me a text, and that's maybe a couple of friends, honestly. My parents give me a phone call. Sometimes, I think a couple years ago, I spent it with my parents out of town. But otherwise, my birthday is not spectacular. I don't really do anything crazy for it. So it's kind of cool to be able to do this for it. Raven's name is carved on a rock in this game because a few years ago, I had a terrible time leading up to my birthday. So I really was not feeling like celebrating my birthday. And she kind of pushed me in the right direction to give this shiny hunt a shot, because Shaymin's hunt was opening up and I wanted to stream it just like I did Dialga. And she really made that birthday a lot better when I was going through some crap on that. That was a pretty nasty one. I think that was 22. I was there. I believe you were for Friday Night Smash on my birthday. Birthday Night Smash. Which is also something that Meta will have, is you'll have a Friday night birthday, which means that I could technically do Friday Night Smash for your birthday. However, I'm leaving town, so won't be able to do that. I'll be on the road. Actually, by the time that I would normally start Friday Night Smash, I'll probably be, hopefully, gone. Or I shouldn't say gone, I should be arriving. Man, Shaymin, you're really not working with us. You don't wanna shine, do you? My most recent shiny I had bad luck was a shiny Skorupi. Oh, I freaking love Skorupi, man. Favorite type of all time is poison. Enter the miasma, my friends. But Skorupi is definitely one of my favorites. I set up that hunt in Gen 8 and never finished it. Now you've convinced me to go back 100%. Let's see. Hold on, the little symbol's in the way. I gotta move it up. I called them cherished. Now I'm Pokemon Home Failure, and now on Pokemon Home, Failure and Cherished sit next to each other. Oh, poor Failure. Failure RIP. No. Failure MVP. I stand Failure. Failure, you're a good shiny. But Skorupi, dude, evolving that into Drapion and seeing that shiny, oh god, Drapion is one of the coolest Pokemon, man. That was an absolute amazing design for Gen 4. Drapion was awesome. Definitely a top tier design. Nidoking may be my favorite, but Drapion's up there, man. Right now I would imagine there are fireworks. If it looks like this outside, there are going to be fireworks. My clock is off on this game, I didn't realize. Which is good, I guess. I mean, Shaymin, I guess you're going to look better spawning at night than you do at day. But I would put fireworks in the background if I could. At least for my country. Everybody else, obviously, it's a Thursday. But for me, it's a holiday. I agree. I should probably bring him out of the box and continue Scarlet with the little fella. Not only that, but I definitely recommend the Scarlet story is worth it. Gen 8 was the only game recently that had a story that I was like, eh. But the Scarlet story is worth it, so I would say having a shiny like that during your playthrough, solid memories. But not just that, the DLC. I think the DLC was excellent for Scarlet Violet. The only thing I don't like about modern DLCs, and this doesn't just go for DLC, I kind of throw not Brilliant Diamond, I'm playing that now. I kind of throw Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon into the same category. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon added story elements, changed story elements that I didn't actually like, and added Necrozma, of course. R.I.P. me. But for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, kind of started this trend of, hey, if you pay us more money, you get all the legendaries of years past for no reason. They just sort of, in that case, show up in the middle of space portals. So ever since then, Gen 8 and Gen 9 have done the same thing. The DLC is pay us money for the DLC, and in return, you can have legendaries that are spawning in places they shouldn't be for no apparent reason. Other than you bought the DLC, you deserve these legendaries. Not a big fan that they're using out-of-place legendaries that are shiny locked on top of that. I know they weren't shiny locked in 8, and they weren't shiny locked in Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun, but in Gen 9 they are. And it's like, if they weren't shiny locked, this game is a good example. Nothing's shiny locked. Even then, if you're saying you should be shiny, like, they're using shiny hunting as a sales marketing technique. If they were, which they aren't. They use it as a marketing technique occasionally, but when it comes to shinies, that's independent of the out-of-place legendaries. I don't like the pay-to-play, like, they're using out-of-place legendaries to advertise Pokemon. Like, you should buy the DLC. If you do, I'll just give you all the legendaries that you missed. God of Time, he's spawning in a cave. He's just vibing with the God of Space for no reason. Like, not a big fan of that. But at least, like, Dynamax adventures, they were actually kind of fun. I enjoyed those. I feel bad because I've never actually caught a legendary in Dynamax adventures. I should go back and make sure I do that. Eoshi says, there are a bunch of super cool glitches in Splatoon 3 that I would 100% show off if you were playing Splatoon 3 right now. I've seen a number of glitches, but there's certainly a number that I haven't seen, I'm sure. So I'll make sure. I got to throw a Splatoon 3 stream in there, a casual stream. I didn't mean to go this long since the last time that we just did private battles on stream. I need to do that again because I was planning on making that more regular, and especially in the last month, I kind of lost track of all time. Mr. Phenomenal says, I've been waiting years for Pokemon to release a way to get a shiny Victini. Absolutely. He's never appeared in a Switch game, not including Giftmons. Absolutely. Not only is Victini up there for Pokemon that have not appeared on the Switch, Victini's not alone. There are so many extremely cool Pokemon like Jirachi. Jirachi is... wait a minute. Hold on. Jirachi. Jirachi is in... Is Jirachi in this game? I think Jirachi is in this game, isn't it? The two gift Pokemon that are, of course, shiny locked are Mew and Jirachi, aren't they? So I guess I'm wrong. I'm eating my words right now. I think Jirachi is in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I'm going to place my bets that those are the two Pokemon that are gift Pokemon from the NPCs. Mew is one of them, I know for sure. I believe Jirachi is the other. It is Jirachi. Haha! I was right. I just don't have that Jirachi. I've never gone and got it because I figure it's shiny locked. I'll go and get it when I actually finish the other events, which I'm doing right now. The final event, of course, will be Arceus. Oh, that's going to be a hell of a hunt, man. I'm trying to decide the last time I hunted Arceus. I did that in an action replay hacked Azure Flute edition in Diamond, and I caught it in a Master Ball because it was God. I was afraid, man. I was afraid. This game, I feel like I want to set up a perfect team and try to go for shiny Arceus in a Premier Ball. But I'm worried that might be biting off more than I can chew because even if you set up a perfect setup, there's a very good chance that you're going to fail. Because the Premier Ball is literally a Pokeball, and Arceus' catch odds are crap, so I feel like maybe I'm going for the Moon when I should just be happy to find it, you know? But at the same time, if it's not going to be a challenge, why would I go for it? I've already done that hunt once. I should go for it. It's like Darkrai. Darkrai I caught in Master Ball as well in Diamond. And the reason I did that was because Darkrai matched the color of the Master Ball. I also did it because I glitched my way over there in the game, so I don't know why. I just wanted to catch it in a Master Ball and get out of there. I was afraid of bricking the game anyways. So in bricking the game, I used the Dark Void glitch, which is, it's a glitch where you use your bike and you go in 4 circles like this until the game stops and lags. And then eventually, if it doesn't crash, the game fails to load the left area and you walk out of bounds. And you have to walk a very precise amount of squares so that when you walk back into bounds, you're on New Moon Island. Otherwise, you may be stuck in the ocean, in which case you have to reset the game. Or if you brick your game, it means that you... actually, I'm trying to think why the game bricked. I think it's because it accidentally saves, or something involves a save file where you save out of bounds, and you can never get back in bounds, which means you have to restart the entire game. So when I found Darkrai, I kind of just wanted to get it in a Master Ball and get the hell out of there. Ironically, the original Darkrai I hunted took like a week. This one took a year. I was very fortunate the first time, and I paid for it dearly the second time. However, Darkrai I got this time in a Dusk Ball. It looks sweet. What am I talking about? It looks sweet. Nito, put your money where your mouth is. You've got Darkrai sitting there in the PC. Pull them out and show the world. Mr. Phenomenal says, I wanted to do a teeny tiny tomfoolery on my Let's Go team, so alongside my average level 80s, I have a 100 chancey called Christmas. They are now in my Scarlet save with an Eviolite. I forgot, I was doing, for some reason I gave my Poochyena an Eviolite in Teal Mask, and I forgot, I went to take it off of him. Like, I selected the item, and then I did nothing with it. And I was confused why my Poochyena was not evolving. And somebody pointed out that it had Eviolite. I'm like, no, I took that off the... Why is that still there? It was a really weird Alzheimer's moment, I felt like. I was like, what the heck happened? How did that happen? It made no sense. The only thing I will say is these games are great. I absolutely love Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, but the reason I love them is because I love Diamond and Pearl. They are literally one-to-one remakes of those games. And in those regards, the only thing I would have switched, the only thing I wish they had changed was the size of the Pokemon when they're following you, because it's really weird having Dialga behind you. And like in Legends Arceus, Dialga is massive. Here, Dialga is the size of a Chimecho. Alright. Oh, didn't go far enough. My bad. Try it again. Check out when this thing enters the battle. This thing, man, Darkrai is my favorite. And this is why. And with the Dusk Ball paired with this, look how sweet this thing is. Alright, Shaymin, prepare for your worst nightmare. Absolutely the definition of intimidating, man. I love that look. Absolutely love it. I am so glad I did not throw a Master Ball at this thing like I did in Diamond. Just because the ball matched his look, that entrance is worth it, man. That entrance is way worth it. That's why you're my favorite right there. So that is so sick, bro. I know, isn't it crazy? That's the look right there. Hey, Polytoad raid. Check it out, Polytoad. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I have to assume you were just on a fresh shiny hunt. And even if you were not, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I have a holiday right now in my country, which is why I am fortunately not at work. I'm shiny hunting. How are you doing, my friend? Let me go ahead and get out of here. Do a few more resets. Literally as the raid's going too, man. Right as you come in, I show you Darkrai. I'm showing off Darkrai right as you come in. That is a sick entrance in every regards. I love that, man. That was so worth it. That's why Darkrai is and has always been my favorite. Random shower thought. Could Unknown T be used as a coat hanger? Depends if you want to use Chimecho as a wind chime, and if you want to use... I would grow tomatoes on Executor myself for a weird one, but like if you need to have your car keys, you can use... or not Chimecho. Oh, God, what's going on right now? The key ring... Klefki, jeez, woof, I don't know what that was. Polytoad, you came in and I was having a brain fart. Klefki, if you want to keep your keys on Klefki and start using Pokemon as the objects that they look like. But Polytoad, how are you doing, my friend? It's a pleasure to see you. I was curious in general, I asked a little bit earlier, but come to think of it, you may have been shiny hunting and maybe you weren't. What is your target? I've got a fresh cup of, oh, it's not fresh anymore, but it's a good cup of coffee. It's like an hour-old cup of coffee. I poured it right before right before I got started on this stream, I poured this coffee. And so I'm just sitting here vibing and looking for Shaymin. Shaymin has been eluding me for quite some time. I don't know where I'm at. I don't count my encounters. I haven't counted my encounters in 10 years. But I estimate my encounters. So I'll go, how many encounters am I getting on average in 1 hour? And then I'll just kind of keep an eye on the clock. And I usually put it in a notepad document. How many hours did I hunt this Pokemon? So that's how I kind of estimate how many encounters I'm at. Shaymin is off the clock. I have no idea where Shaymin's at. This thing will shine when it shines. That's all that's going to happen. Truly the greatest crime. Trading a shiny Combee with Wonder Trade. Or, yeah, I was going to say a male Combee. I shiny hunted Combee, and I never found a male Combee. The first Combee I found was female, and I was like, dude, I will probably never truly appreciate how lucky I was. How fortunate I was to find Combee, and it was like, oh my god. The hunt that I'm actually still working on, if you guys ever see me on your friends list, anybody sees me on Pokemon Sword, if I'm on Sword, you know what I'm doing. I am still looking for Sinistea, and I want it in its authentic form. And I am not giving up that hunt. I don't work on that hunt too much, and I kind of throw it in there with Trevenant. I'm still looking for Phantump. For whatever reason, in that forest, my very first encounter, I got started. What happened was I said, all the Pokemon that are spawning here are excellent shinies. I'll take any of them. So I'm running through there, and I started that hunt. I mean, we're talking 2 seconds into it. I said, Impidimp spawns here, or Morgrem rather, so Morgrem spawns there. Phantump is there. Passimian is there. Shiinotic is there. And Sinistea. And I will take any of them because they are all fantastic. Also, there's 2 more. Hatena is there. And I don't remember the last Pokemon that's there. Oh, Indeedee. Indeedee is there. So I said, any of those are excellent shinies. I'll take them. What happened was the first encounter was a shiny Morgrem, a blue Morgrem. The very first encounter was a shiny. And then I have stayed there for years and have not found a single shiny in that area. So I'm still doing that occasionally. 50, oh God. You did 50 shinies? There's no way. There's no way. That's so many. God, it is absolutely crazy. Is that 50 or 50 shinies? Are you talking 50 Combee with the because you got to set that hunt up too. That's a pain. That was like Munchlax. Oh my god, Munchlax, dude. Munchlax may have been the worst hunt I've ever done. I didn't have to encounter too many Munchlax. I'm gonna guess 1,000. It took a long time, but Munchlax, man, that was a crazy hunt. I don't even know if I have the energy to do that again. Maybe I do though. Maybe I'm crazy enough to get all these legendaries and then go for Munchlax. Good coffee, good coffee. Hey, Archo, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome back. It was shiny. It's stuck on my DS because I never got Pokemon Home. I'm kind of the opposite. I leave shinies on the games that I found them on. Right now, for instance, I want to hunt in Pokemon Moon, Dragalge. I love Dragalge. Extremely cool Pokemon. Sick. Absolutely sick. Amazing shiny form. I even have a video. It's like, I'd say it's a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, a video of Dragalge. They had an event for Dragalge, or rather for Skrelp in Pokemon Violet. And it looks sick in HD, man. I love that Pokemon. I want to go back to Pokemon Moon and hunt Dragalge. It's in an area where it's actually like, I think there's only 3 things that spawn there. Magikarp, Wailord, and Dragalge. So it's like, alright, or Skrelp. I'm not sure which one it is. But I know I want to hunt it, but I'm going to leave it alone. When it's on that game, I'm going to hunt it, and then I'm going to walk away when that thing's caught. It's staying on that game. Got some McDonald's after the gym. Right on, man. Right on. Pokemon Ruby was your first. Pokemon Ruby was my... Well, Ruby and Sapphire, like I say, there was a mix-up. My parents got me both by accident. It's the only time I've ever gotten both versions. But still, it was... Sapphire was the first one I played, so... Ruby is a question. Ruby served as a dump file, so I put all of the crap that I caught on Sapphire, all the shinies, I put it on Ruby, and then restarted my Sapphire version as necessary. And somewhere along the line, I had to do it because I used the action replay to acquire Arceus, and I got a couple of bad eggs, and I didn't want them on the game anymore, so I restarted Sapphire. So I transferred Arceus over to Ruby, restarted Sapphire, moved everything back, and eventually it was like, that was years after the game came out. That was when I finally decided I'm going to catch Groudon shiny. So Kyogre... I went back and caught Kyogre. It was like a year after the game came out. It was before Emerald, because I gave my friend Kyogre, and I've told this story a few times. I was crushing on her, and we did get together, actually, but I gave her the pink Kyogre, and that was like a year or so after. It was when Coliseum was out. The craziest hunt I've ever done was the Shiny Shadow Suicune in Coliseum. And I didn't know that, I don't know what I thought. All I know was I purified that Pokemon, and it doesn't look as cool when it's regular versus when it was a Shadow Suicune, so I really should have just left it alone. Either way, so in that regard, though, I did Groudon, like, right before Diamond and Pearl came out. I finally did that hunt, so that Ruby version, I think, sits there till this day. Never did the Elite Four in Ruby. Caught Groudon, left it there, and spoiler for a new shiny hunt that's coming up is it's been a long time since I did Rayquaza. So I have set up the Sapphire version that I have right now, and I'm going to do, in honor of Year of the Dragon, Black Rayquaza. Mr. Phenomenal says, Pokemon Moon was my first game. Do not regret making it my first. I loved Moon, man. I skipped Gen 5 and 6 to focus on school and a little bit of career. And when I finally got back into Pokemon, I re-entered back at Pokemon Moon. God, that game was great. Everything about that game, I loved it. I'm such a fan of that game. And if there's anybody out there that has been converted where, the game's kind of got some hate at first, and I don't even know why. People don't remember the hate, I think. I think most people regard Sun and Moon as good now, but I swear, I've never hated the games. I loved it from the very first. I've got a video that shows how much I loved it. It was all recorded on my channel. It was the first playthrough I did was Moon. Then the second playthrough was Ultra Moon Blind Nuzlocke. Loved it from day one, man. Loved it. Hoenn has too little water. Is that in reference to the Pokemon account tweet? Which I don't know what that is in reference to, but Pokemon tweeted out, does Hoenn have too little water or too much land or something like that? Let's see. Archo says, don't tell me that you gave up on one of the most magnificent shinies. For some cheeks? No, I didn't give up on it. I caught it and traded it to her. So I gave that Kyogre to her. I did catch it. It was pink, it was glorious, and I said, here you go. But that's the spoiler, man. That's the spoiler, is I have a copy. I have another copy. I have three. Yeah, I've got three of them, don't I? I have Ruby, I have Sapphire, I have Emerald, and I have another Sapphire, so actually I have four. And that other Sapphire version, I just recently wiped the save file. So I got to Kyogre, no Master Ball. I skipped the Master Ball. And Kyogre is sitting there right now. Save battery's dead, so it's not truly RNG anymore. Save battery's dead. I'm going to catch Kyogre pink again on that. Full odds. Mr. Phenomenal says, I used to play Pokemon Go a lot. I have traded a lot of shinies from Go to Sword. I think that's another good example of going back to my shinies aren't special. The story is what's special, because Pokemon Go, shinies are a dime a dozen, dude. They are easy. I mean, they're not super easy, but, like, especially during events, they're super freaking easy, and you can transfer them from Go to Let's Go to Sword, all of that. But that said, Pokemon Go has, I think anyways, redeemed themselves massively. When they first came out, the whole planet was on Pokemon Go Cloud 9. As hype diminished, which hype always diminishes, I felt that they weren't updating the game very well. It seemed like new features were slow to come. We were waiting forever for legendaries. I have not since played Pokemon Go. I eventually backed out and I don't play it anymore. Nothing wrong with it, but they've added a ton of features. So I thought they redeemed themselves like, oh man, they've added the full arsenal. They've programmed in every generation. There's events that go on. There are new features that go on. There are characters that go on. This is sweet. Pokemon Go really has done a great job. Then they did the not so great job where the remote raid pass thing and the range that you can get to your mega raids or whatever they're called. That kind of screwed things up because there were a lot of disabled people that were kind of left in the dark at that point, and not a good look for Niantic. I do not know if they ever fixed that either. I just know the content of the game has grown tremendously. I remember one time I found a shiny cat thing from Gen 4. I had no Pokeballs and I had to run. That sucks! Oh, on another phone. Oh, you had to run to a Pokestop on another phone so I could catch it. Run to a Pokestop, get some Pokeballs, run back, catch it. Oh, at least you got it. That's a unique way for sure. Meltan is probably my favorite thing that came from Pokemon Go. I was playing at the time that Meltan came out. And there was a rumor. I don't understand this. Meltan came out, and somebody, I don't know who, but somebody started a rumor that Meltan was actually not intentional. It was a placeholder on the Pokedex, nothing more. That's why it looked so weird. And I always wondered, I saw a few people telling me that, like, oh yeah, don't worry, that's that mystery Pokemon that has no name is just a placeholder. I'm like, how do you figure it's a placeholder? It's animated. Why would they animate a placeholder? Never understood that. So then Meltan came out and we were all wondering what it was. And finally it was revealed what Meltan was. I think Meltan was a marketing failure. Or I shouldn't say failure. I think it was over-marketed. It didn't make sense why this Pokemon was so special. Because Ash got one in the anime. Let's Go had the whole Gen 1 Pokedex plus Meltan. But that was it. That was the only Pokemon outside its generation. Meltan and Melmetal, that's it. And it was like, man, you guys are like, it's a weird quirky Pokemon and I like it, but why is it being over marketed? It was really weird. But for that little amount of time that Meltan was spawning without a name on the Pokedex, oh, that was juicy. Archo says people are actually mad at Pokemon Go these days since they made the avatars. Sorry, almost got to sneeze. Andronymus, and people are mad that their avatars now don't look like they used to. Wait, what? Really? What happened? That's a very weird change. They need to add Melmetal. I like Melmetal. I was hoping for a slightly different. I was hoping for a slightly different Pokemon. So. Yeah, I'm kind of... So, what... There's no... well, I mean, I'll ask it up front. So, there's no genders anymore? Is that what happened? So, the reason that Melmetal was a... I don't know. What I was hoping for Melmetal to be was when I saw it, I thought, oh, this thing consumes metal. It's corrosive. So, I'm thinking, when it evolves, it's going to evolve into a liquid metal-looking thing. It's going to have a corrosion mechanism. That's how it's going to feed. That's how the Pokemon's going to exist. It's going to be like, it's going to look like a liquid metal. And so here I am hypothesizing, what is Melmetal going to be? And I go for it. I say Melmetal, which at the time didn't exist. Meltan will evolve into the first Poison Steel type. And it will be Poison Steel in terms of it is liquid metal. It's toxic metal, like mercury. It's going to, or Tantalum, you know, it's going to be toxic. It's going to wrap itself. It's going to be amorphous and wrap itself around and corrode things. And then on top of that, its ability will be corrosion. It's not a great ability, but the corrosion ability would make so much sense because it will poison a Pokemon that is steel because it corrodes. Instead, it came out to a 10-foot monster that punches you in the face. And it worked. It's a good-looking Pokemon. But that's not what at all I thought it was going to be. So I was surprised. I was way off the mark from what I thought it was going to be versus what it became. That was my only thing about Melmetal. And it just felt like it was really out of place to throw that in Let's Go. Let's see. Archo says, Ultra Space cursed legendary quests forever. I thought Ultra Space was cool at the time, but now thanks to finding legendaries is just confined to one space instead. Oh, you're in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Is that I forgot what that was called. I thought those were called warp holes. When you're riding a Solgaleo. I thought, oh no, next message. Yeah, I think they removed genders as far as I can tell. Don't play the game. That's just a weird, I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with it. Why would it matter? But at the same time, every Pokemon game has genders, so I don't know what they were trying to prove. But yeah, that's a strange one. Poison, steel with levitate. Or corrosion would be fire. I thought for sure, I way misplaced what I thought Melmetal was going to be, man. I was way off. Wasn't worth the week of grinding candies to evolve Meltan. I think that part's at least kind of cool, where Meltan has a very specific way of evolving. It's not the first Pokemon that forces you to go to a different game to evolve it. Or to obtain and evolve it. But to your point, yeah, it's Melmetal was just, it was really out of place. But it was really cool. If you haven't seen the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime, I'm about to say something about it that's spoilerish. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When Ash got Melmetal, he sank Gladion with it. Like, Gladion ate dirt to that Melmetal. And it was fun to watch. It was just out of place. It was so random. It literally coincided with a marketing campaign, and I thought, wow, that's really strange. But it was cool to watch. Archa says, Ultra Space started the trend of confirming legendaries into one, or confining them into one space instead of doing cool quests. Yeah, actually, we were just talking about this while you were gone. I'm not a fan of how it really started with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, not only did they give you extra story, they actually altered the base story. But it still was pay to play. It was, give me more money, and you can have all the legendaries, and they don't have any story implications. They're just there. Move that into Crown Tundra for the DLC for Sword and Shield. Here, there's just a bunch of legendaries vibing in a cave. If you give me $30, you can go have all of them. Good luck. Then in Indigo Disc, they did the same thing. Hey, we're going to make a bunch of legendaries just spawn in the open. Go have fun. Oh, they're shiny locked, by the way. Go have fun. It was like, but it doesn't make sense. Why would they be? The only ones that would make any sense are Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres. Because their lore is really just, they are majestic birds with crazy powers, and they have migration patterns, and they fly, and they live a normal life. They are not like Suicune, Entei, and Raikou kind of spread across the region. They have a bit of a purpose, and they stay hidden. That's the only ones I can understand, were the birds. The Regis stay in caves until activated, the Titans. What else spawns? So I know the Regis, the Titan Pokemon, they don't actually spawn in any of the DLCs. Or, well, okay, they do, so, but it was integrated into the story, so they may be in the Crown Tundra, but it made sense why they were in the Crown Tundra. It was really weird that there's more than one Registeel, more than one Regice, and more than one Regirock, because that part was confusing. but at the same time, you know, it's, or Regigigas for that matter, but at least they were integrated into the story. They weren't just vibing in a cave. But the God of Time sitting in a cave waiting for you, that part's weird. The devil Pokemon, the lost, forgotten son of Arceus, sitting in a cave waiting for you. I mean, that's what it does. Giratina sits in caves. That's what it does. But it doesn't make sense why it would be in any other cave than the Cave of Origin. Why would it be in a random cave where there's legendaries, you know? Black and White 2 have amazing legendary quests, which I really need to get my ass in gear and get on top of doing that. Mr. Phenomenal says, I think Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was the longest Pokemon game. Actually, I would say yes, maybe, but the only one that could outrank that is Scarlet Violet. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to vote. I would say Scarlet Violet has to be the longest because the canon story involves 3 separate stories. So I would say that has to be the long one. Plus, it's open world. Nito in 10 years' time. Don't worry, guys. Pokemon Black coming soon. I swear Pokemon Black is coming. I gotta set up a desk in another room that I can do all the Game Boy stuff again on. But I swear it's coming. Also, the art for it. Naya said she was gonna do the art. I might have Ninjas do it. Naya's been super busy. I asked her to get to just a nice, solid background for the playthrough. Nothing spectacular. But she hasn't been able to get to it, so that was also kind of a problem. Kind of hyped for Legends ZA. Oh man, I've already spent like the first hour of the stream explaining how hype I am for it because of how much I loved Legends Arceus. Archo was the one that pointed out. Yeah, I loved Legends Arceus. Like, Sun and Moon was my favorite Pokemon game ever. And then it was dethroned to second place by Legends Arceus. And they're both excellent games. Never played the games, so I'm expecting a lot. Oh, are you, you never played X and Y. I've also never played it. I'll get to it. I will definitely get to it. You've said the same thing for 2 years now, bud. There's a few plans I've been canceled on, but I will definitely get to Pokemon Black here soon. And once I start rolling on that, I swear I'm going to keep rolling. Your favorite as well. Heck yeah, Archo. We're there together, man. That's where it's at. It was just, oh my god, that game was so good. And what I said, so here's what I said after you actually left earlier, Archo, is I said that Pokemon Legends Arceus had a particular art style for the graphics, which is why we kind of forgive all the clipping and the bad graphics and the low FPS. But a game that is a 10 out of 10 Pokemon game, a recent game that is a 10 out of 10 Pokemon game that most people, they don't have anything bad to say about it, they just don't talk about it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. 10 out of 10, 100%, perfect, great game, no flaws. Or if there are flaws, they were minimal. The new Pokemon Snap. Bandai Namco did the graphics for that game. They knocked it out, man. They killed it. If Pokemon were to put the graphics in the hands of Bandai Namco for a mainline game, we would have liquid gold, man. We would be eating for life. We would be rich. Every one of us would have an amazing game. Because the story of SV or the story of Sun and Moon, these mature storylines that don't make predictable moves with uninteresting characters, that grasp your attention, they make you emotionally invested, combined with immersive graphics. They don't have to be 4K crazy graphics, just nice graphics. You're talking perfect. Every single Pokemon game has suffered recently from graphics, with the exception of Legends Arceus. It may have suffered from graphics, but it was the design of the game, the art style made it feel less apparent. So you're able to immerse yourself. But if they were to just let Bandai Namco take care of all of that, dude, we would have awesome. We would have a crazy experience. Yoshi says, sorry, I'm not talking in chat. No need to apologize, my friend. Tower control glitches. Hey, I don't know why. I just took a breath in and something malfunctioned. Eyoshi Gamer, I saw a hilarious glitch where if you put Tentacooler on the tower, or in front of the tower, and then you disconnect, the game tries to calculate what it's going to do with the collision of the tower into the Tacticooler, rather. And because you're disconnected, something goes wrong with the math, and the Tacticooler just starts looking like a football that's been fumbled. It's pretty funny. Look it up if you haven't seen that. It's pretty funny. Let's see. Bandai Namco are a great developer. So Bandai Namco and Capcom are like, morally, they're at the top of my list for cannot do any wrong, no complaints with their company. The only thing you can complain about are the individual games and how the actual teams developed the game wrong. If you don't like the story, if you don't like decisions made with the characters. But in terms of morality, dude, those companies, top tier. They just seem like they don't half-ass anything. And they pay. Like, they make sure there are accommodations for their people, and the pay going to the people doing the work, it's all there. It's all solid. They gave raises when everyone else was cutting. Like, Capcom and Bandai, dude, they're excellent, in my opinion. Mr. Phenomenal says, Pokemon got to stop milking the Switch soon, right? I love transferring... well, yeah, I mean, so that's another thing. I have a pretty hot opinion about the Switch 2 or whatever the next Switch is going to be, is that influencers and media outlets absolutely lied their ass off about the Switch 2, confirming it year after year after year. Finally, when we get confirmation of it, it's subtle. It's just, hey, heads up. And they were saying this in their stockholder meetings all the time. All you got to do is go to Nintendo's stockholder website, and you can see their question and answers. Over the years, they've been open about the Switch 2. But the only thing they've been open about is that we're not talking about it. It's in development, but we're not talking about it. That's what they say every time. You got all these people making videos, making money off of your time and ads that you have to sit through to tell you that the Switch 2 is coming and we have the inside scoop when they didn't. And finally, when they announced the Switch 2, they tell us it's going to be 2025, man. Metroid Prime 4 is definitely, in my opinion, it's going to be on Switch, and it's going to be on the successor to the Switch. And the reason is that every console for Nintendo ends on a swan song. So for the GameCube, it was Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess was released on GameCube, and it got a Wii release. The Wii ended on its swan song of... let me think. It wasn't Metroid. I'm trying to think what the Wii ended on. I can't think of what the Wii ended on, but on the Wii U, though, Breath of the Wild. We got Breath of the Wild on Wii U, and we got it on the Switch. So that seems to be what they do, is they end it on a swan song where the release is on one console, and it's, you know, you transition very quickly into the next console. So for the Switch, I think Metroid Prime 4 will be on the Switch, and it'll be on the successor to the Switch. So I would say yes. I would say SV is the last Pokemon game on Switch. And I would say Nintendo's history, in my opinion, is my validation for that. The Nintendo Switch lived its first year without any Pokemon games at all. Nothing. Let's Go was the very first time a Pokemon game was on Switch. And it was a huge deal when that happened. They marketed the shit out of that game. And the marketing was great, dude. They had an entire semi-truck that looked like a neon LED display. Like, it was crazy how much money they put into marketing the very first Pokemon game ever to be on the Nintendo Switch. They don't seem to launch Pokemon games fresh onto a console. So I would say whatever the successor to the Switch is, it's going to be a while before we see a Gen 10 or anything like that. And I'm guessing it's not going to be Gen 10. I'm guessing the first game on the successor to the Switch is going to be Legend ZA. Because they don't launch mainstream games. They seem to always start off with a side game. So for the Switch, it was Let's Go. It was not Gen 8. So that's my prediction. You heard it here, my friends. Where did I see that glitch? I saw it on Twitter. Somebody retweeted it. Mr. Phenomenal says, wait, are Shaymin and Darkrai in Legends Shiny Locked? They are indeed Shiny Locked. Sorry about that. I haven't redeemed either yet. Yeah, Legends, unfortunately, shiny locked Darkrai and Shaymin. Not only that, but every legendary is shiny locked. Cresselia is shiny locked. Giratina's in the game, shiny locked. Manaphy's shiny locked. Fiona is shiny locked. Arceus himself is shiny locked. The gods are shiny locked. And pretty much everything. Yeah, every legendary is shiny locked. Which is a dumb thing to do. I hate shiny locks. Archo says, Tales of Arise was low-key inspired me in so many times. Dude, they rocked it on that. Bandai Namco, man. It's like they can do no wrong. Or the wrongs they do are very minute. Bandai made Tales of Arise. And I saw that you saw that. That they chose Tales of Arise as the free gift at AnimeCon 2024. Is Tales of Arise. They're handing out Alphen and Shion pins. And I think they've got the others, but they didn't show them on the main banner. They were like, "Come and get your pins," and they're enamel pins of Alphen and Shion. Dude, I am gonna miss Ray Chase. I went from a Ray Chase game to a Ray Chase game. I've gotten to hear some pretty passionate voice acting from him in terms of Alphen and then Noctis. I hope that he continues his legacy of RPG games. I want Ray Chase to be one of the big names you hear, like D. Bradley Baker or any kind of crazy, like any RPG voices you hear that you recognize, that you know, that you can tell that they're going to be in an RPG, and there doesn't matter, main character, side character, doesn't matter. They're going to be in every single RPG you play. Ray Chase better be that guy. He's earned it. Let's see, bro. I will be remembering Alphen's speeches at random times. Jujutsu Kaisen. Like I've said before, I have been recommended that many, many times. I will put it on my list, or it's on my list, I should say. I will definitely get to it. Oh, speaking of anime, any Demon Slayer fans out there? Just found out Infinity Castle will be releasing in theaters. Do you guys want a quick Nito down bad moment? There was a cosplayer playing Mitsuri in one of the elites. What are they called? The Hashin or the yeah? I can't remember what it is. Hashin. One of the elites demon slayers, and she was cosplaying Mitsuri, and I think I got struck dead in the moment. And so I was talking to her. Now nothing ever came of it, unfortunately, but. Or I shouldn't say unfortunately, it's just I at least wanted to be like, I gotta make friends with this person, but she split after the movie was over. She had something to go do, I forget what happened, I just didn't end up like talking to her, but during the movie I was like, I think I just got struck down, man. I'm like, I'm down bad. Alright, Mr. Phenomenal says, bro, this Paris does not know I have a level 94 Porygon Z. Stop harassing me. Paris was the new Zubat in Legends, man. Paris was a fungus. It was a fungus. I saw a webcomic, man. I saw a bad webcomic. I don't know who drew this. I saw it and I was like, oh my god. I will describe it for you. It'd be better to show you it, but if I'm gonna show it, I need to credit who made it, and I don't know who made it. That's the nature of the internet, is the first thing people do is cite your work without citing you. So I don't know who did this webcomic. Basically, it showed Paris and Parasect, and the Paris was saying, Dad, where do babies come from? And Parasect was like, well, there comes a time in every Parasect's life where the fungus on the back of the body takes over the central nervous system, inhabiting the host, forcing it to do its will, climbing the top of the tallest hill against the host's will, where then a bird comes and devours the Parasect. Then, after passing through the full digestive system, the spores are finally able to grow and become new Paris. So then the Paris is looking at the Parasect and says, Dad, I'm scared. And the Parasect goes, sweet boy, weren't you listening? Your dad is gone. I was like, oh my god. Because sorry, I inhaled wrong again. The Gen 1 Pokedex entry explains that the mushroom on the back of Parasect is actually the Pokemon. It's speculated that Paris dies and the mushroom becomes Parasect. And it's in the Pokedex, man. They put that in there. Is that the mushrooms take over Paris. Whether or not that Paris is dead or not doesn't matter. But they doubled down on that. Is in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, they outright have dialogue where Paris says, I love the mushrooms on my back. And Parasect eventually comes by and says that the mushroom does the thinking for them. And so it is confirmed that, I mean, it's not a lie. They're not hiding it at all. That Parasect is the mushroom, not the body of the bug. In fact, I would love, just right now, I'm just thinking, man, you know what would be kind of cool? What if we got a Paris that had a regional variant form where it evolved into Parasect, but there was no mushroom? It was the bug. Make it like a badass bug or something, like a killer scorpion, like a sweet freaking scorpion, instead of the mushroom. That would be sweet. People would love that Pokemon. Pokemon, you got to make it happen. Do that right now. Regional variants, Parasect. No mushroom, just badass bug. Give it to us. You've been great about bugs. We have had top-tier bug designs for 3 generations, starting with the Ultra Beasts. The Ultra Beasts, Buzzwole, and... God, why am I forgetting the Centipede one? Somebody help me out here. Oh, my God. She is an elegant beast. And her name is something I forgot. Oh, crap. What was it, dude? What was that? Oh, my God. I'm watching the chat. I'm trying to think. What is that thing called? It was called... Oh, what was that thing called? It was... Hang on. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I just need to remember its name. I'm watching the chat because somebody's going to say it. I'm going to be like, oh, my God. Buzzwole, and then the Centipede one was... something whose name I can't remember. It wasn't Kartana. It was... It literally kind of looks like Lusamine. Can't remember, dude. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to move on. Don't remember either. I'm trying to convey it. I can't remember. It is killing me, man. I can't believe I can't remember this. It's the... oh, I guess it's not a centipede. I don't know what the thing is. Why is my brain not remembering what this thing is called? Anyways, they've been killing it with that. Araquanid is a sweet bug Pokemon. And man, does Araquanid have a sweet shiny form. Love it. Absolutely love it. Pheromosa just came to my mind. God, I literally was just sitting here. I'm like, I'm gonna move on. I can't remember it, and then it just popped in there. Pheromosa. So Buzzwole and Pheromosa, sweet designs. Charjabug. I had to think of Charjabug. Charjabug, sweet, absolutely top tier. Great evolution, and Araquanid. So Gen 7 killed it for bugs. Gen 8 had something I remember. Trying to think what. I wonder this, when the same legendaries encounter each other in PvP, because there is usually one what the heck. Well, I think they've kind of broke down that rule that there's only one of each legendary. They kind of broke down that rule. But I thought Scentiscorch was a really good one for Gen 8, personally. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think pretty much everybody thought that was a great one. Fair. Yeah, that's... well, some of them anyways. Some of them. I would say that there's a lot of Pokemon like the Titans, Regigigas and all them. Sorry, hiccups. Makes no sense why there are more than one. But they've kind of done that for the games anyways. But then when it's like Moltres, yeah, I could see why there could be more than one. Lugia had an anime episode where there was a baby Lugia. I don't know if they consider that canon exactly. Gen 9, I don't know about the bugs if they consider... well, it depends. The Paradox Pokemon, some people are on the fence about it, but it doesn't matter. Slitherwing was sweet, dude. Absolutely. And then low kicks. Or Legends. Cleavor? Dude, Cleavor was sick. So that was a sick Pokemon. So, oh, how could I forget, too, as I just remembered, Guzma, dude. Golisopod is a bug Pokemon. So bugs have been killing it. So... I would say if they could just go with my idea, give me a Parasect where the mushroom is not in charge anymore. Just give me Parasect without a mushroom and make it a sweet bug design. Gen 10. Out of the park right there. Or just make it okay. Let's go with some origin here. So it's looking like, I don't know why, we've got some bad theories on Legends ZA where they're saying that it's going to be the future. When the trailer clearly established that they're going back into the past, because that's the whole point of Legends, they are in the past, and it's the building of Lumiose City. So what if, since it doesn't really matter what region it is, what if they established that Parasect didn't have the mushroom 100 years ago? So Parasect can be a Kalos form before they call it Kalos, or maybe they still call it Kalos. And then Parasect a long time somehow was infested by mushrooms, and every single time that a mushroom or a Paras is born out of the egg, it has the mushrooms integrated already. But the original form of that Pokemon, I think that'd be a great lore drop, is that Paras never had the mushrooms before a certain point. So then you can make a form similar to the Hisuian forms where it establishes the mushroom was not part of it. I'm going to tweet that out, man. That's a great idea. I just impressed myself with that idea. What sort of story is this, Eyoshi says? It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. Archo was, should have asked for the number, man. Yeah, I guess I probably should have. That was it. Maybe I'll see her again. I mean, I'm going to go to the same theater. If I see her again, man, I'm going for it. Mr. Phenomenal says, I wonder this. When, oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Let me back up. Fair. Really? I never knew that. Actually, I should have seen that when you said that. I don't remember what that was in reference to. Either way, your latest message says, I don't think there's a single instance you can get Slowking without trade evolution. So I guess that's somewhat okay, so like right there, symbiotic Pokemon. Shelter and Slowbro, or Slowpoke, rather, have kind of been established. Not in the games, but certainly in the anime and such. In fact, fun fact for you, the Pokemon anime, or the manga rather, the Pokemon manga, actually established that there is only one Pokemon that can go through de-evolution, and that Pokemon is Slowbro. That the Shelter can be removed from the Slowbro, and it will de-evolve back into Slowpoke and Shelter. So what if the Pokemon on the back of Slowbro, that Shelter look, what if they gave that as a regional variant of Cloyster? That'd be cool. Especially since it's on, it sort of has a variant on the head of Slowking. The only problem being, of course, that isn't canon to the games, the Shelter and the Slowpoke thing. Slowpoke needs a break. A little too much going on with that. I don't think there is a single instance when you can get Slowking without a trade Evo. Alright, I read that. And Shelter, Slowpoke needs a break. I mean, I would be down for that. Those are the two things I would love to see, is a Shelter that can evolve into a, not a Hisuian, but Ancient Kalos, we'll call it. Ancient Kalos Shelter into Cloyster variant. And I would like a Parasect regional form where there are no mushrooms. Just the bug, not the mushroom. That way, you can actually see if a mushroom did not take over that Pokemon, what would it look like? Boom, boom. Did I get a shiny yet? Ivanus, welcome back. And the answer is nope, nothing yet. In fact, I'll probably go for another half hour and call it a stream here. Dude, I'm attached to this. Ivanus, let me run an idea by you. I literally just came up with this on the spot, and I'm already committed to this. I literally want to go on Pokemon's website and submit this as an idea to them. You can do that, or Nintendo, I guess. It's just probably a 1 in a million shot if they ever would consider that. Even if they may never look at the idea, let alone consider the idea. But get this, all right? I was making a joke about how I saw a webcomic about the fact that the Pokedex confirms, as well as the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games confirm, that Paris is a bug. Parasect is actually a mushroom. It's a sentient mushroom that has taken over the host. So when you have Parasect, you actually have a mushroom. The mushroom is the Pokemon, not the bug. So in those regards, I thought, man, you know what would be sick, especially with how many cool bug designs we have recently, is what if they had a regional variant? And since Legends occurs before XY, and we're going to get a Legends game, what if Pokemon Legends gave us the original form of Paris and Parasect, where they were just really badass bug Pokemon, and then something happened along the timeline that doesn't have to be explained, where the regular Cantonian form popped up with this mushroom that takes it over. But the original form never had the mushroom, so it was just a really cool scorpion bug Pokemon. I want that now. Or crab scorpion bug thing. Whatever Paris is supposed to be. I really want that now. I think that'd be a sweet idea, and I'm attached to it. Alright, Mr. Phenomenal says, I'm now thinking of a Slowpoke eating a Shelter. That would probably not involve evolution. That would just be a meal. That's just carnivorous. That's like mussel shells, when otters crack the shell open and suck the mussel inside out and just leave the shell behind with an empty... In fact, hey, here, you want a dark one, Mr. Phenomenal? What if Slowpoke opened Shelter up and ate Shelter out of its shell and left the shell behind? And then a ghost entity went into, like a hermit crab ghost, went into that shell of the dead Shelter and then became a ghost water type, and it's actually a ghost inhabiting the shell of a Shelter that's been sucked out of its shell and digested and gone. You know, it doesn't exist anymore. It's just an empty shell. They did that shit with Basculin when they went with Basculegion, or Zorua. I mean, we've gone way dark in the Legends games. Let's go dark. Let's make it like you're haunting the Shelter or the Cloister who have been eaten. And now all that remains is the shell. It's just an empty shell. And a ghost Pokemon like Sinistea, or oh god, why am I forgetting Pokemon names today? It's one of my favorites, dude. The Anchor, help me out here. Delmise. Delmise is actually haunted grass that has wrapped itself around an anchor. So Delmise is not the anchor, it's actually the grass around the anchor. Well, what if Delmise were to inhabit, or a Pokemon like Delmise were to inhabit the empty Cloister or the empty Shelter shell? So it's like a hermit crab ghost Pokemon using the dead Pokemon's leftovers. Make it happen, Pokemon. We're generating ideas here. Hire me, and I will come in and consult. No swearing. I'll back off on the swearing. I'll say they did that crap. Did you know Delmise appears once in Trainer Battle in Moon? It's the only time is Elite Four. Really? I did not realize that. So number one is Delmise. Underrated as all can be. Delmise is a sweet design. I love that design so much. Number two, Delmise is not in the anime very often, but when it is, actually, I think it's almost never in the anime. I think it's in there similar to what you just said. In the anime, I think it only makes one appearance. But, oh man, it looks sweet in that anime. So, in the anime, Delmise is, like I say, it's sentient grass, and it's inhabited the host, which happens to be a non-sentient object, a rusty anchor and a ship wheel. While in the anime, these two objects are connected by a chain. So it can actually throw its own anchor and spin the wheel, and it's just a sweet-looking Pokemon in the anime, dude. It absolutely is awesome. Number three, I shiny hunted Delmise in Gen 8. I found it. It was a great... It's a red Pokemon. It's kind of an odd-looking Pokemon. I would have preferred something more cyan and blue spectrum, but it still looks sweet. So go shiny hunt it. It's sweet. You'll love it. It'll be worth it. Same color as your Skorupi. Spider Monkey says that sounds awesome. Dude, I'm committed to these ideas. One of them they'll never do because it's a little radical. Even though they go dark, they don't go dark from like fan theory dark. They kind of go dark in like OG ideas. But I'm going to tell them, I'm going to go to the website and actually input this parasect idea into the website. And I swear, I know it'll never get done. They have a suggestion box, but that's not actually, I don't think they ever look at it. But my God, they better, dude. I just invented a sweet Pokemon for them. Screw it. I'm not going to go to them. Well, I am going to go to them. They're going to ignore me. I'm going to go to let me get myself together. I'm going to go to Janinjuice, my artist that drew this overlay, and I'm going to tell him, because he has on his portfolio Pokemon, and I believe he has drawn some Fakemon. I'm going to tell him to make this idea happen, and we're just going to draw Fakemon and make that happen instead. Guyet or Skibidi Toilet? Request for context, Ivanus. Delmise is only used in the Elite Four. Man, what a waste of that Pokemon. That is such a good Pokemon. I never even realized that, honestly. I wasn't paying attention for that, I suppose, because I didn't know Delmise existed. I went in blind to that game. I didn't look at the Pokedex. I looked at the Alolan forms, a couple of them, but I didn't look at the Pokedex, so I didn't even know Delmise was in that game. My God, Delmise was underused, man. What a cool Pokemon. Hey, do you guys want to hear? When Gen 8 was coming out, I decided to throw some stupid ideas around. Naya and I were podcasting. I was kind of experimenting. I thought I was actually a pretty good podcaster. I just never amounted to doing it. But I threw a really dumb idea out there. So when Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, I predicted, which was just a wild shot in the dark, that it would be a time-based game, which we sort of eventually got. Just, we went back in time. We didn't go forward. I said it was going to be an Egypt-based region game, and there were going to be mixes of modern society with ancient society. So, like, pyramids, if you will. It doesn't have to be pyramids, but some kind of old temples where you would explore the past and possibly even travel between time, which, yeah, we eventually got that with SV2, I suppose. But I wanted to be able to actually travel. And so it would be an Egypt-based region, and you would have a forward progression and a backward progression. So you could have modern time and ancient time in the same playthrough. And I said that the names of these games would be Pokemon Astral and Pokemon Earth. Now, of course, that was just a wild shot in the dark. Anyway, so the colors, by the way, were identical to Scarlet and Violet. So I actually predicted the idea of a time-based Pokemon game, which many people have suggested before, but I said it should be paired with Egypt. And I said the colors would be Scarlet and Violet. Well, shit, that's exactly what happened. So at least I was close on that regards. Anyways, one of the Pokemon that I made up as a fake Pokemon, I said a sentient object. It would be a tire-based Pokemon. And I called it Smolder because I said it would be a tire that was a fire and ground type, because it would be like a tire, a sentient tire, like a thrown-out trash tire, doing a burnout. And a burnout can cause flames. Therefore, it's burning out on the ground and causing fire. Smolder, the sentient tire, fire type, and ground type. I thought that was a pretty clever idea for a Fakemon. They would never do something like that, but it was a solid Fakemon. I was proud of that, man. That was a hilarious one. Let's see. Mr. Phenomenal says, I've recently gotten into Fakemon creating. I use Gen 3 art styles. Oh, look at this. So you actually draw Fakemon. Look at that. Hell yeah. I am a fan of people doing that because Pokemon is kind of stingy. I guess supposedly, I don't have a source for you, they've leaked out that their creators, the Creatures company, Creatures is not allowed. They do not allow their artists to take any inspiration from online. They want total originality, no fan stuff. If it were me, if I were running that company, I would love to reward artists with contests and actually use their designs and credit them. I think it'd be sweet. This is where I make the point. Maybe not Pokemon, but there are other games out there that are monster tamer games that do take fan creations. So you may call it a fake mon, but you actually could submit that design to games in the making and see your design actually be integrated into another game. I could not name for you those games. I think Pal World might be one of them that uses fan designs, but they also kind of ripped off Pokemon's designs, so I don't exactly endorse them. But still, there are games out there. What was the one? What was it? It was a huge game, and they did that. They used Pokemon fan designs, or I should say monster designs, that happened to originate as Fakemon. It was the big monster tamer. Oh, hang on. I can tell you what the game was. It was huge for a very small amount of time anyways. Hang on. I know this one. It was not that one. That's Pal World. It was... hold on. It was... Remember, it was like anime style, so... It might be Temtem. I'm thinking it was Temtem. Let me look. Yeah, I'm 90% sure the game was Temtem. And Temtem took fan designs as submissions and actually put them in the game. I've never seen the big ones like Monster Rancher. Or, I mean, not Monster Rancher. Dragon Quest Monsters. I've never seen Digimon and I've never seen Pokemon do it. Maybe they did. Maybe Digimon may have done it, but I know that Temtem did it. And Koromon, I think, did it. Yeah, I think Koromon was another one that did it. That was a pretty recent one. Where, if, like I say, your fake mon design may just make itself into a game. I'm thinking that's what it was. Koromon was Koromon and Temtem. Ah, that's what it was. Yokai Watch, I think, did that. I was looking at the list of them. I think Yokai Watch did that, where they took some fan creations and put them in the game. In fact, I'm most certain about Yokai Watch, actually. I think Koromon did it as well, but I could be completely talking out a black void, a hole. But I think Yokai Watch did that, where they took a fan design that was submitted, a few of them, and they converted them into actual creatures and credited the original artists. Yokai Watch, Bony Spirits was my first DS game ever. Really? Look at that. Tying it all together there. Yeah, I think Yokai Watch did that. So that's why I say Fakemon, it's almost not even I wouldn't even call it that design. Like, Fakemon is the most popular way to describe it, but really it's just fan monster creations. If you've got a good design and you're sitting on something you know is good, I absolutely encourage you to reach out to developers and submit your design and just pitch it to them and see what happens. You don't have to. I'm just saying it has happened in the past with a lot of games. I think that's a goal. If I had artistic ability and the ability to do that, I would totally pitch my designs. You believe my dogs would die in Nintendogs? Well, Ivanus, as a matter of fact, I never had Nintendogs, so ha! I was already ahead of you. I already accepted that cruel, cruel reality. Remember, when Nintendogs came out, I was focused in Pokemon on releasing Pokemon that were just born out of eggs. They were brand new to this world, and I threw them in the garbage because I said that their stats were not adequate for me, so I didn't care about them. And I threw thousands of these things in the trash, newly born, and only bred the best and kept the best. I was not the kind of guy you wanted playing Nintendogs. Raven, how are you doing? Raven says Nito should have whose number? Are you talking how many encounters we're at? Because I have no idea, Raven. I have lost track entirely of what number I'm on. I have not estimated even. I don't know how long we've been at it for Shaymin. Shaymin is definitely going to just show up when it gets here. You know, you monster. So the funny thing about that, Ivanus, is back in the time that was going on, they actually put a character whose Japanese name I have forgotten, but they put a character in the Pokemon anime that literally was me. And his name was Paul in the English anime. And Paul was literally me. Paul literally would gauge the IVs of wild Pokemon that he caught and release them if they were low. He would, well, he didn't really EV train his Pokemon, but he certainly was very selective about strategies, passive damage and status via abilities. Like, Paul was literally like us. He was the competitive guy, and he was selecting what Pokemon based on stats. And they actually threw him in the anime, or created a character like that in the anime to address how many of us, once I learned what EVs were from whoever data mined it back in the day and taught everybody what EVs were, I was on it, man. All of a sudden, I wanted the best stats and everything. So that's not the guy you want raising your Nintendogs. What Archo was talking about. Let me back up here. I gotta scroll up. Oh, Archo was talking about a cosplayer I ran into at the movie theater for Demon Slayer Mugen Train. Not Mugen Train, the one that came after Mugen Train. She was cosplaying Mitsuri, and she was a very attractive personality, we'll call it that. And so, but yeah, she was cosplaying one of the characters, and so Demon Slayer announced Infinity Castle is coming to theaters, which is probably going to be, I would say, it's going to be an amalgamation of new episodes, but the point is it's new. So the last time that Demon Slayer had a movie in theaters, unfortunately, it was literally the final episode of Season 4 and the start of Season 5. So half of the time in that theater was just watching something I just saw. Either way, the Infinity Castle arc is going to start in theaters, and I just simply posed the question of, would I see the Mitsuri cosplayer again? Would I see her one more time? I actually wore my, or not mine, I'm sorry, I had to bum it off of Naya. I have a Nezuko shirt. It might be mine now. I don't know if I still, yeah, I have that shirt here. So it's mine now. Screw it. I stole a Nezuko shirt from Naya. So I wore that, and that's how she noticed me and I noticed her in the first place. Was I had this Nezuko shirt on. Mr. Phenomenal says, Legends Arceus was the coolest Pokemon game. Yeah, it's my #1 now. It dethroned Pokemon Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon is now #2, but we're talking, I loved both of them. It definitely didn't take me 128 tries to beat Walgreens Cynthia. No, it's Walmart Cynthia, but no, it's unhinged Cynthia, man. Volo was top tier. I freaking loved that. Was insane. Not just Volo with that crazy plot twist, but the fact that after Volo, I went up the stairs and fought God. And then I captured God in a Pokeball and said, who's your God now? Raven says, of course, Archo. Oh, yeah, and Archo said that that's not the stereotype for him. But, no, Raven, we were talking about earlier. Well, actually, there's a few things. What was I going to ask you? Now I don't remember. There was something I was going to bring up. I was like, ooh, you got to hear this idea. I can't remember. Ivan says, Nito, you were the best streamer ever. Except when No, I didn't throw away dogs. I threw away Pokemon. Some of them may have been dogs. I don't remember. I know, what was my competitive team back in the day? I know Bronzong was there. Trick Room Bronzong? Is that what I used? Bronzong had a weird typing, and I liked that because you can utilize, you know, with that weird typing screws people up somewhat. Yeah, I don't think I had any dog Pokemon on my team. Either way, no, I didn't throw any Nintendogs away. I never owned Nintendogs. Cynthia like a villain or something? Cynthia is the antagonist. She's a champion, which means she's a good person. She fights off evil. And I believe in the anime when no, it wasn't Galaxy. Yeah, it was. Team Galactic, rather. Kidnapped Ash and Dawn and Brock. If I'm not mistaken, Cynthia saved Dawn. And they were not light with Dawn, man. These guys literally like cuffed her and threw her in the back room, and like it was brutal for a Pokemon anime show. So Cynthia was fighting Team Galactic. She was like at the front of the fight against them. So you know, she's just the antagonist. She's not a bad person. Her ancestor, that's a different story. Her ancestor is literally a psycho. So, and that's what made him such a good villain, because he's a psychopath. I feel like Raven would not like the Parasect idea. I will rehash that for you, though, Raven. So there's a Pokemon named Paris. Paris is a little bug, a little orange bug that has 2 mushrooms on its back. It evolves into it's a bug Pokemon that looks like a crab, almost like a scorpion crab thing. So it's got a few legs, it's got a couple pincers, and it's got a couple mushrooms on its back. It evolves into Parasect. Parasect has the same pincers. In fact, for all intents and purposes, it looks just like Paris, but with a giant mushroom on its back, a huge mushroom. The Pokedex entry, as well as the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, confirm that Paris is the bug, but Parasect is not the bug. Parasect is the mushroom. So when it evolves, the mushroom takes over the body, that takes over the nervous system. It takes over Paris. And the question is, and the game pokes fun at this, is Paris even still alive? Or is it just a dead body with a mushroom on its back? So I proposed a theory, or a hypothesis, that the next Pokemon game coming out, Pokemon Legends ZA, just like Legends Arceus, which if you have forgotten, Raven, Legends was the game that you and I were up till midnight, and I was looking for Darkrai, and then when I found Darkrai, it was just you and me in chat. Darkrai started beating the crap out of me, and I was running for my life, and I was hiding behind a rock, and Darkrai found me and attacked me, and I got jump scared. That was Legends. It was the game that occurred 100 years in the past. So they're coming out with a new one called Legends ZA that I showed you earlier, the trailer for. I said, you know what would be a good idea? What if they put a Pokemon in there and establish the lore that Paris evolves into Parasect, but its regional form for that game, which will occur before the timeline, so it's going to be an old, ancient society, that game establishes Paris evolving into Parasect, but without the mushroom. No mushroom. So we just get a really freaking cool bug Pokemon. And then that establishes the lore that somewhere along the evolutionary line, Paris got taken over by a fungus, and from there on out, Paris evolved into the Cantonian form, where the mushroom takes over the host. But back in the day, it used to just be a really cool bug. So that was my proposition. That was the idea that I came up with earlier. Raven says, people really want you to date interesting people or cosplayers. Oh, I got her mixed up with Lucamine. Yes, Lucamine is a... so Lucamine is not... Lucamine, I guess, she's not a psychopath. Lucamine is, I guess she'd be a sociopath or a narcissist. And the reason that Lucamine being a narcissist in a Pokemon game was so weird, it was a very mature concept. It was like, wow, they actually did this. This is a very real thing. Is that Lily and Gladion have a narcissistic mother that caused Gladion to turn into a criminal, and Lily was a criminal. She was a thief. She was a professional thief. So at the start of the game, she steals Nebby, oh god, come on, what's with Pokemon names with me today? What evolves into Lunala? What's Nebby? How did I forget the name of Nebby? I swear, man. Cosmog is his name. I had to think about it. Cosmog, also known as Proto-Coughing if you're Team Rocket. Cosmog. I am forgetting names today. My brain is scrambled, I swear. So Lily is literally a thief, and Gladion is a criminal that works for hire with what's her face, Team Skull. I got a message at the top here. What's going on with this message? Are we good? Are we still connected? I want to make sure that we are connected. Something just popped up that was kind of weird. It was just like it was just a false screen, like a faded screen. Void FR, my friend, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? You were sent over by Galax. Who is Galax? I would love to know who Galax is. Is this a raid? And how are you doing, Void? We are shooting ideas for Legend ZA, I guess, is what's kind of become of this. We had some great ideas, honestly, for lore for Pokemon. The Parasect idea, I actually am attached to. I am legitimately in on this. Mr. Phenomenal, I found out, is a fan, or not a fan, sorry, well, I guess a fake Mon artist. Really, it's a monster tamer creation artist. I'm not sure what the official term should be, but fake Mon is kind of the street term for it. But I think that monsters, if you're gonna create them for Pokemon, they can work for any monster tamer game. So it doesn't have to be Pokemon. Either way, that's kind of where we're at. And I was explaining to Raven the Parasect idea. I swear, Zatu's art looks like he's stoned. Zatu. Oh, Zatu. Sorry, Zatu. When you said Zatu, so I'm like, who is Zatu? Zatu is, what is that? He's a Native American icon. I'm trying to think. The statue, the bird statue. I think it's the idea of an all-seeing entity. So it's not stoned, but I get what you're saying. But it's modeled after something. Anyway, Void, how are you doing, my friend? Are you also coming over from a shiny hunt? Shaymin, the spring has sprung, but you have not. So we are definitely waiting for you. Summer's a little late for this. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, I think this is the last sip of my coffee. Yes, here it goes, down the hatch. I'll end the stream soon. So this cup of coffee is kind of the marker, if you will, the time marker for the stream. So I'm going to make one more encounter really quickly, take this sip of the coffee, and then I'll start the countdown on to the end of the stream. Ah, good coffee. I made that cup of coffee excellent. All right, Shaymin. Let's go. I guess let's go. I'm going to say, how many more encounters do I want to do, Shaymin? Let's do, I say 25. Let's do 25 more encounters, and I'll call it a stream. So here we go. Encounter number 1. Little Shaymin. Here we go. Encounter number 1. 25 more, then if you're going to make something happen, Shaymin, you better do it quick. We are ready for you. We've had a great stream. I love just sitting here and shooting this I'm sorry, Ivan has asked me to stop swearing. Talking intellectually and having excellent conversations with my fellow friends in the world of Nintendo and Pokemon games and gaming in general. But now that we're kind of here at the stagnant end point, Shaymin, here's number 2. We are looking for you to shine to finish it all up. Here's encounter number 2. 23 more to go after this, and then I will call it a stream. So, little Shaymin, you got to work with us. It is time. The spotlight is on you. We have had excellent conversations about the history of gaming, about RPGs that I enjoy, like Tales of Arise and Final Fantasy. We had a great time talking about reboots, games that should be a franchise that's rusting, that should be back in the living world with new games, new lore. We talked about Pokemon ideas. It was a great time. Now it's time for the spotlight. Now it's time for the action sequence. The shiny Shaymin. 3 encounters. You are the 3rd one right here. And not only that, it looks like my parents are trying to get a hold of me, so once I'm done with 23 more encounters, I'll give them a call back. Oh, let me pull my phone over here and see what we got going on. Yep, that's it. They just want me to call. Alright, 4th encounter right here. Come on, Shaymin. Work with us. Spring has sprung. We're waiting for the flowers to bloom, and all it takes is you to shine to make all those bouquets in the field come to fruition. All right, here we go. 21 more to go, and then I'll call it a stream. The only thing that's going to change this, Shaymin, is if you want to make some crazy sparkles happen. Hey, Darkrai did it. Darkrai did it a couple of streams ago. Actually, it's been a few months, but still, Darkrai made it happen, so why can't you? Here we go, 5 encounters. 20 more to go, and then I will call it a stream. Shaymin, you're hurting my heart. So, what I will definitely post. Now, the Kyogre hunt, I'm not hiding it. It's not, I don't know why earlier I was like, ooh, I've got a special surprise for you. It's Kyogre in Gen 3. So I set it up because I'm going to go for Black Rayquaza in honor of the Year of the Dragon hunts. So, but no Master Ball. I'm not doing it with a Master Ball, man. I'm going straight into this. The game, it's Pokemon Sapphire with a dead save battery, which means that as I'm doing soft resets, I'm actually going to be doing it in a very unique way because the clock is rolling from the same start point every single time. There is no more, well, there is an RNG, but the RNG is going in a sequence that starts at the same starting point every time because the clock is dead. So it starts rolling wherever the heck it started, which means basically, long story short, here's number 7. If I soft reset 5 seconds after the game boots up. So I start the game, I load in, I'm standing there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was a little fast. And then I speak to Kyogre. I engage Kyogre in that battle. And I do it at 5 seconds every single time. It means that I'm only going to be rolling like the same 10 or 12 frames every time, going down to the millisecond. Which means that if I keep doing it at 5 seconds every single time, all that's going to happen is the same frame, which is not a shiny frame, will pop up over and over and over and over. The whole stream, if I were to just hit it at 5 seconds, I would never find Kyogre, and it has nothing to do, or the shiny Kyogre, it has nothing to do with bad luck. It would be by design. I have put myself in a corner. There's nothing I can do to make that shiny frame shine. What's going to happen when I do that, and if I do it on stream, we'll see it. Rayquaza for sure, maybe Kyogre, is I'm going to have to give it different intervals. To make it more randomized, I will shiny hunt Kyogre at different random intervals. Kind of like I am now, where I just let it go. I'm not going as fast as I can necessarily. I make the encounter at like 30 seconds, then I do it at 25 seconds, then I do it at 27 seconds, maybe another one at 30 seconds, and I just go back and forth like that. That would be how I would have to do it. That is a shiny hunt that's coming up. That's what I'm working on with this one. So Shaymin on one game and then Kyogre on the other. I wasn't going to shiny hunt Kyogre. I changed my mind. I don't know why. I just decided that Kyogre, I'm going to grab the pink Kyogre, and then I'll go do the Elite Four, all that stuff, and I'll circle back around and hit up Rayquaza. So here's number 9, which means we have 14 more encounters to go, Shaymin. 14. Sorry, 16. Can't count. All right, goodbye. Encounter number 10, which will leave us with 15 more after this, coming up right now. So I will do 15 more encounters after this, and I'm going to go ahead and call it a stream. I appreciate all the good conversations. Anybody that's watching this back, thank you guys for hanging out with me and making this a good time. If you're celebrating a holiday today, I hope that you celebrate with a fun time. No work, no hard, heavy thoughts, just a good time, either alone, with your friends, or partying it up on the beach or something. I just hope you have a good time in general, and a safe time. Don't blow your hands off with fireworks, because it's Independence Day, and that's what we do. We blow up fireworks, which is kind of odd because it usually triggers soldier PTSD. But hey, that's a whole other discussion. All I know is that was 10 encounters, 15 more to go, and I will call it a stream. So here we go. Shaymin encounter number 11 out of 25 for the end of the stream. Here we go. No good. As I was talking to Archo about earlier, is I swear I've said it a million times, but this time I promise for sure that I'm gonna make it happen. I swear I'm gonna make it happen. I'm going to do for sure the Pokemon Black blind Nuzlocke. I'm going to make this happen. All right, here we go. Huh. Give me 1 sec. Interesting. Anybody that was chatting, give me 1 second here. Well, would you look at that, my friends? Oh, that sucks. So, this is going to be a fun one to explain. Galax and all your raiders, did you know, and I did not know this because that screen I told you about earlier, I said, hey, there's a screen that popped up that was weird, remember? And I didn't know if the stream was still connected. Did you know that that is the screen for your chat has disconnected, which means that at some point the stream did disconnect, right? And when I just looked at it, I'm like, I wonder why it says that there's chats going on, but I can't see them, all right? So I just refreshed it, and all these messages popped up. Galax, I didn't even see you come in. I saw the first of your raiders come in, and it stopped. It froze. I never saw Noah. I never saw Lily Taylor. Void I saw, but then the chat broke. And I was like, oh, what's that screen? That is a screen I've never seen before that was indicating that I have lost my chat. So it was just stopped. And I thought, okay, that's all right. That's fine. And then I refreshed it, and all these messages come up. I'm like, Gizmo and Ivanus, I saw your message. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. So that screen that I've never seen before ever means you need to refresh your chat. It has disconnected. Now, did the stream disconnect? No idea, but I know that we're back. So with that said, I apologize for anybody that left that looked like I was not reading the chat because I saw Galax, your raid, except it stopped at Void. So Lily Taylor, like I say, Noah, I saw you come in. I saw Void say, yeah, he is a shiny hunter too. Good. What about you? I hope you guys are still here and hearing my voice because I let the whole chat disconnect, man. Gonna go for this hunt after Arceus shines, and Arceus for me, Galax, is coming after this. So for me, Arceus will be up next after this. I kind of want to do it in a Premier Ball. And don't ask me why. I know I'm not the only one. I felt like I was original with that idea like 10 years ago anyways. I've seen people that are like, I'm going to go for a really hard Pokemon, not in a Pokeball, but in a Premier Ball. But I kind of want to do it. And the challenge there is that you're screwed if you run out of moves because you can set everything up perfectly and just never roll right. But I kind of want to do it. We'll see. I don't know. Gizmo says, okay, but the Pokemon regions are based on actual places, though. There's nothing in the Antarctics. I was talking earlier, Gizmo, about how I wanted an Egypt-based region. It was going to be Pokemon Astral and Pokemon Earth was my prediction. So I guess if I were making fake games, an Egypt-based region, that idea was like 5 years old at this point. I could, for all I know, maybe somebody's done it already, but I could make a fan game of it. Nonetheless, let me scroll back through all the stuff that I missed because the chat was moving and I didn't know because it was frozen. Galax and Lily Taylor are still here because is he slow on reading chat? I am way slow, Lily Taylor. In fact, here we go. Let's see. Test. Chat had a glitch. My bad. All right. Are you guys hearing my voice as I'm typing that? Out of curiosity. I've never seen that screen before. It was a blank white screen with text that was on there, but I couldn't see it. And my chat was disconnected at that point. So it stopped. And I thought, all right, the chat broke. And then I just now picked up on that the chat broke because I look over here and I'm like, why are there new messages? I don't see anything. And that's when I realized that I was like, oh my God, the chat's been disconnected for like 5 minutes. We're good now, man. We're good. I've caught up on a lot of the messages here. The only thing I didn't see was Spider Monkey. I saw Ivanus. What do I think about an Antarctica region? I would love an Antarctic region. You know what would be really cool is go like straight up left versus right. And what I mean by that is like Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages. Make straight up an Antarctic region and like a Rubal Khali desert region, like to where the left game and the right game aren't even in the same region, man, or they're in the same region, but the climate, everything is like way different. A little radical. I'm sure they wouldn't want to do that, but that'd be crazy. But yeah, I had proposed Egypt, where there's a mix of ancient and modern. And that's what was crazy, is when I said that Pokemon Astral and Earth were my ideas, I actually gave them the same colors as Scarlet and Violet. And that game that I was like, oh yeah, they should do this. If I were a fan game developer, I'd do this. It was based on the idea of, time travel, going back into the past, coming back to the modern. And that's kind of what happened sort of in Scarlet Violet, was there was a past and a future-based version of everything, and you don't get to see it, but the idea is there. So I was like, I'm going to count that as like a 30% predict. But, yeah, sorry about that, guys. I totally messed up. I did not know. I've actually got it right here. It says, welcome to the chat. When it reconnected, I'm like, oh my god, this stupid thing broke. I've never seen it do that before. That is my apology. But you're amazed there's barely any stream delay. There's no stream delay so long as I'm reading the chat. So I was reading off the numbers before the end of the stream. Right now I'm at 12 encounters, so 12 of 25. But yeah, I totally botched that. My apologies, Galax. Galax, I didn't see. What were you actually... oh, you were. You were actually going for Arceus. The goal for me is also Premier Ball for Arceus. So I love that idea. And I used to catch all my shinies in Premier Balls. It was like my signature for the last 15 years or so. And so now that it's become more popular to do that, I also don't like the idea of doing it because it feels like I'm jumping on a trend almost. Like, everybody does that. But at the same time, I'm like, nah, man, I want to do that. Last time I caught Arceus, I had to use an action replay to get the Aether Flute, went up there, caught it in a Master Ball, and walked away. I kind of want to go for the challenge this time. Gizmo says, wouldn't Astral and Earth just be post-game? Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's, yes. But at the same time, my games would be based in Egypt. And they would feature temples and modern society. So, like, you're walking through a city, but outside the city, there's an ancient temple. And you explore that temple like a dungeon. Basically, I guess what I'm proposing to you is Final Fantasy 15, but Pokemon. Real original, Nito. Real original. Either way, it still sounded cool. Space region. That'll never happen. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I feel like the ideas that Pokemon's coming up with now are stuff that you wouldn't predict them, It's not common to predict it. So in those regards, it's like... yeah, so it was, that's back when Gen 8 was going on, when Gen 8 was going to be revealed. We didn't have titles yet. We didn't have anything yet. And I was doing a podcast, and that's where I said, you know what would be cool? If we had Pokemon in Egypt where there's a mix of modern and past, either with straight-up time traveling or just stepping into the past, and I would call them Astral and Earth. So, and that was what was cool, is it was a burgundy and a violet color, and I was like, dang, I was just a generation behind. But man, imagine Egypt forms, dude. It'd be sweet. Now imagine that you have like a mix of, like you said, your Antarctic idea. I'm like, man, that would be really cool if you had one region that is just totally different than the other. Like the same region, but depending on the game you get, totally different experience in terms of what you encounter. So, I mean, red and blue, it was simple. In blue version, you had blue pixels. In red version, you had red pixels. But imagine they took that to the extreme where, like, you get this game, and the region idea, the gimmick, if you will, is that the region is, like, super cold versus this game, it's super hot. Or maybe the gimmick is different. Here it's terastallizing. It used to be Z-moves, Gigantamaxing. Imagine that you get a game where, depending on what game you get an entirely different gimmick altogether. That would be sweet. And that would be a good sales ploy because they want you to buy both games anyways. Galax says, I just try to match the Pokeball with the shiny, which is something I seem to do, and then I don't do it. Like, Black Sandygast, Luxury Ball. But then sometimes I'm like, you know what you should be in? You should be in a net ball just because. I haven't played BDSP much outside of the soft resetting or the legendary so far. So the only interesting ball I've got for Arceus is Premier. For me, it's just because I used to catch like almost every shiny in Premier Balls. But at the same time, it's also the idea that it's such a challenge. But it's really not a challenge as much as you're just rolling the dice because the setup is the same. You're going to have the same setup, status effects, everything. It's just you're throwing a ball with lower odds. But I guess it's just cool to see, like, oh my god, he caught an Arceus in a freaking Premier Ball. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. Instead of a Premier Ball, I'm going to catch it in a net ball. How about that? That'll be a little different. Mr. Phenomenal says if there was a space region, we would be able to get Deoxys. Deoxys. Dude, I would love something that involves another, like, Delta episode scenario, just because maybe I'm just attached to Pokemon Generations. In Pokemon Generations, they had a really, really cool Delta episode anime adaptation, and my god, it was cool. Galax says, but even so, hoping he shines before 10K, because at this point I never expected to reach 7. So see, this is what happened. I had to go and open my big mouth about, oh, I've been shiny hunting since 2002. I'm the OG. I'm the father of shiny hunting. I wrote one of the first guides back in the day on how to use the radar to catch shinies. I've never gone over 10K, ever. So I'm fortunate, all this, yada, yada, yada. Well, that was back in 2018. I start hunting Mewtwo in Let's Go, and Mewtwo decides, what did you say about you're not a member of the 10K club? Bet. And I ended up every single Mewtwo birthday, February, I think, 6th. Every single February 6th, I streamed it. Every winter, I would bike on the stationary trainer and soft reset at the same time. 4 years, 30,000 encounters. I will never open my mouth again about that stuff. I will never do that again. I jinxed myself in a horrible way. Your last hunt, Azelf, also took 10K encounters. I won't even start with Cresselia, man. I've ranted on this channel for years about Cresselia. I think I might, when Cresselia's finished, and I literally at this point I'm going to have to put Cresselia's hunt in my will. If I ever find shiny Cresselia, I think I can officially post a video that I had the longest shiny hunt in human history. Because it's been going for 16 years. I don't have a count. I just know it's going to be a six-figure count. I have been resetting it for 16 years. Week after week, I do resets. Sometimes I go one battery, so when the battery's dead, I plug it in, I charge it, and then I wait 7 days. Sometimes I really get into it, where I'm like watching something on TV, and I am just resetting and resetting and resetting. Sometimes I can't sleep because I wondered, did I reset over it? It's been like 15 years. You got to imagine it's 16 years. Maybe I reset right over Cresselia, and it's crazy. That one is the only exception to the rule, and even till this day, I am still plagued with that hunt. I've even switched game cartridges out of paranoia, and just for the fact I found one at a garage sale. No, that one wasn't at a garage sale. I'll take it back. That one was the extra I had. Either way, I switched game cartridges, picked up the hunt in a different game cartridge, and I am still 16 years later, man. Gizmo says the closest thing I could think of both games being different, a different world, would be one game. One game is just reversed, like the map is mirrored. I'm thinking, to me, the idea in my head is the old school Game Boy game, Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages, where same map, same idea, but one's dealing with seasons and one's literally going back and forward through time. So they'd have different gimmicks, you know. That was kind of where I was going with that anyway. That's a good idea anyways. This is what I was thinking for Spider Monkey, I think, or Ivanus asked me about the Antarctic idea. And then I just went into that. Anyway, Galax says my longest hunt took 60,000, which I'm not at a successful 60K. Not yet anyways. I'm not at Shaymin. I'm not even counting you, Shaymin. I don't count my encounters anymore. I estimate them. And with Shaymin, I have lost count of even how many hours are going into it. But I don't want a 60K anyway. So Shaymin, this is number 14. I'll go 11 more and then I'll call it a stream, guys. Unless I lost count of that too. ... Anyways, Mr. Phenomenal says, I love shiny Electrode. A little idea I've had is that Electrode should be different shiny variants, like Ultra Ball colored, Master Ball colored. While I love that idea, in fact, I love that idea. I'll just leave it at that. I want that to only be like one Pokemon. If they start doing kind of like Gen 8 touched on a little bit, the idea of, yes, there's a shiny, but then there's a super rare shiny. And I'm like, no, I don't want two tiers. I do not want to catch a shiny and be like, oh, it's just a square pattern. That one's common, even though it was 1 in 4,000, which, yes, it used to be 1 in 8,000, but my point stands. I don't want it to be like, well, it's a common shiny. I want the rare shiny, you know? I don't want to get into that crap. I just want it to be shiny as a shiny, and if you want to throw in, like my Sinistea hunt, which is also going forever, authentic versus not authentic, that's fine. But I don't want, like, super shiny and regular shiny. I don't want them to start toying with that. Gizmo said, but you can do that for one Pokemon. I'll let that go slide one time. That would be really cool. Gizmo says, closest we got to something like that would be Sun and Moon, which you are very much correct on that. I agree. I was just ranting, or not ranting, I was just going on a tangent earlier about how Sun and Moon, I skipped Black, White, Black 2, White 2, X, and Y, because I was in school. I wasn't gaming pretty much at all. I had some games I played with some friends, but you know, I dabbled in League of Legends for a little while with them, for instance, but I was not doing, like, playthroughs or anything like that. And so I came back to Pokemon 10 years later. Well, close to. I came back for Sun and Moon, and I loved Sun and Moon. Instantly my favorite Pokemon games. They were dethroned by Legends Arceus, but still, I love Sun and Moon. Shiny luck to me. We got 9 more encounters, and then I'll go ahead and call it a stream here. I think 9. I think 10. I lost count, so let's just do this. 10 more. Here's 1. I lost count after I got thrown off by that whole chat problem happening. If you guys left a like on this stream, by the way, let me take the time to thank you for doing that. You took the time to do that. I'll take the time to thank you for doing that. I hope that whenever you're here, the same vibe exists every time that made you like this stream or subscribe in general. I don't want to let anybody down in those regards. Mr. Phenomenal says, how do you shiny hunt in Legends? In Legends, they just sort of show up, but they have an audible noise. It's a little bloop. And so when you shiny hunt in Legends, you're looking to make, well, I guess there's 2 ways to do it. Make one respawn. So in the case of alpha Pokemon, you literally have to exit the spot, that location, travel to a different location, come back, and then go see the static encounter. For Pokemon that spawn in clusters, you're looking to make them despawn and respawn. So you exit, you come back, you exit, you come back, you exit, you come back. But they spawn in the open, the wild. There's no, there are statics, alpha Pokemon are statics, but there are no soft reset stagnant Pokemon that are in one spot like this. So, and Legends are all, of course, shiny locked in Legends Arceus, all the legendaries, because shiny locks exist, and I don't like them. Gizmo says, I honestly still think Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are the best Pokemon games. Since they were the last games to have all Pokemon in at the time. I will give you that, and I love the art style. I love the tropical theme. Megas are still in it. Basically, every point you've made is 100% correct. The only thing is I really appreciated the mature storyline that was involved with Lusamine and her kids. So when they kind of deflated that and changed it in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, the super boss, awesome. That was really epic. But when it comes to the story, I actually really liked Sun and Moon because they went into a very believable, immersive adult storyline, or at least mature storyline, where Lusamine was basically a narcissist. At the end, after driving her children away, turning both children into criminals, putting them both on the street, they didn't have homes, and not caring about them, having an ambition that was far exceeding the safety of her children, insulting her daughter, saying she's ugly, and then after everything goes down, after she does a little psychopathic trip with Nihilego, she never apologizes. She does not try to make amends. Very much like real life, sometimes the bad guy just stays bad. And that's what happened. She was in a cloud of uncertainty at the end of the game, and her daughter took the burden of taking care of her mother, which is a very real thing. Like, your mom is a narcissist that burns every bridge she builds. And now she doesn't know what to do with her life. She's lost, and she's regretful, but she doesn't even know what she's regretful about. So what does Lily do? She assumes the responsibility, and the burden of responsibility unto the children is just something that sort of happens. And it's unfortunate. And I was like, man, you guys put that in a Pokemon game? Hell yeah, look at that. Also, Lucamine's very attractive. But still, you get my point. I was very shocked that they did that. Also with the dad part of it, too. Or, like every good Pokemon game, one of the parents are mysteriously gone. So in those regards, I was like, that's what I really also enjoyed. The vibe, the no gyms, they went off the beaten path with that. It was a risk. I think it paid off. The gimmick was a little, but they went for it. I liked it. You know, it's Z moves. That's fine. They needed something to spark it up a little bit. I'd never used Z moves while I was playing the game, the playthrough. I didn't even use Z moves when I was doing my Ultra Moon Blind Nuzlocke. But at the end of the day, it was there if I wanted to, and it was my choice to use them or not to use them. Like Pierre's in Gen 8. Where he just decided, I'm not going to Dynamax. Screw that. Going to do it old school. Z-moves are Yokai Watch soulmates. I stand my ground. I didn't play Yokai Watch, so I'll have to trust your opinion on that one. Gizmo says, I see people say they think Sun and Moon are the worst due to the Z-moves. So the weird thing about that, Gizmo, is I feel like Sun and Moon were like wine. They just needed some time to age, and all of a sudden everybody appreciates them. They just needed a little nostalgia, and then all of a sudden they're great. So I used to see people trashing on it all the time, especially at the start of the Sun and Moon anime. We were fresh off the XY anime. Art style changed. Ash got screwed, of course, with the ending, we'll say. And we were into this, like, all of a sudden everything's changing. So with the anime, the games, the, going off the beaten path and saying no gyms, regional variants, Z moves, everything was different. It just needed some time to simmer on that skillet. And then everything was worth it. Now you look back, and I think more people appreciate Sun and Moon than don't. Won't lie, I honestly don't remember that much being changed from the story. They included the dude from Gen 5 that I'm not very familiar with because I haven't played that yet. And they did the entire Ultra Beast arc, which, hey, the Ultra Beasts were sweet. I love the designs, and I love that battle. Necrozma was like the first time I felt a super battle in Pokemon. But that said, they also included the wormholes, which kind of felt like, hey, you paid extra money for a new game, here, take all the legendaries. So here's number 4, by the way. But with that said, I definitely liked they toned Lucamine down a little bit and didn't have her be what she was. They had her more focused on the portals and the Ultra Beasts, not in an ambitious way, like, I don't care about the people around me. I don't even care about my own children. She was kind of the opposite. She was devoted to science and had a heart again. And it was like, she was an abusive mother, man. You just leave that in the game. Leave that alone. It's sometimes that's a real world lesson, and it was crazy and radical. Let's see. Since you don't even actually fight her. Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is that so you don't get Lucamine Black. And that was a crazy battle because it was like, do I kill her? What do I do? Nito, would you rather have all shiny in the world, no Arceus, or shiny Arceus? Yeah, I don't need all the shinies in the world. I've already gotten so many in my life, and I would say that I would rather just get that Arceus one more time. It's been a long time since I've done any of those hunts. So doing Dialga, Giratina, which, yeah, I know I've cut Giratina too many times now. But to be able to do Darkrai. Shaymin, I've never caught. So this is the first time I'm ever even doing this battle, let alone this hunt. To do Arceus the right way one more time, I'll take that. Because that's going to be like the nostalgia trip complete at that point. I'll be good. I'll be fine with it. All right, number 5. 5 more encounters, guys. Thank you so much. Sorry that the chat broke during the raid. I really do feel foolish for that. I'm going to look at, see what Galax did. I'm going to head over to your channel right after this and check you out, man. I appreciate the raid. Not only that, but there was a second raid earlier as well. So I got to go check out. I apologize. I know the second raider didn't stick around. I do want to check it out anyways. He took the time to come over here, you know. I appreciate meeting new people, so. But, all right, here's number, I think this was number 5. I don't know. This is number 6. I take it back. This is number 6. So I really do appreciate the good times, the good talks, guys. No shiny on this stream unless we got 4 more encounters, and every encounter has the same chance. So if it does happen, it does happen. If it doesn't, I tried. But I am never putting down the shiny hunt, so don't worry. A shiny Shaymin video will pop up, whether it was from a stream or not. Mr. Phenomenal says, gonna head off? Hey, Mr. Phenomenal, not only do I appreciate the good times with you, I thank you for the subscription. I thank everyone who is subscribed and stays subscribed. So anybody that's been here for a day, a month, a year, or my entire YouTube channel life, my goal is not to let you down. My goal is to make sure that the vibe that caused you to hit subscribe is the same vibe that is here every time. That when you enter this chat, you are in good company. And I will never change. I will never sell out. I will always be the person that you subscribe to. That's my goal. And I appreciate you guys immensely for hitting subscribe and wanting to come back and wanting to hang out with me. I really do appreciate the time, guys. You guys have made memories for me that I love. It's been a great time every time. 3 more encounters, guys. 3 more encounters, and I'll go ahead and call it a stream here. Like I say, I feel foolish that the chat went down. I didn't mean for that chat to break. So I will apologize a million times for that because that felt dumb. I saw something go wrong, and then I didn't do anything about it, and I feel dumb, dude. Shiny Lopunny or Shiny Vaporeon? Interesting that you picked those 2 Pokemon. I think I know why you picked those 2. Reevaluate life. I'm just kidding. I would say I'm gonna go with Lopunny actually. I think Vaporeon looks good in that color, but I'm going to go with Lopunny. I think, so not only I have a story for this, 2 stories, in fact. Somebody said earlier what their first shiny ever was. Actually, it was Mr. Phenomenal, I think you said, was Let's Go. For me, my very first shiny was actually, it was Red Gyarados and Silver, but then right after that in the Dragon's Den, I found a shiny Dragonair. I don't have the save file anymore. That save file is wiped, and my Crystal version died. I made a video because I was heartbroken. I moved all my shinies to Crystal. That battery died literally a couple years ago. So the only one that's left, I think, is that Dragonair. It still lives on Pokemon Stadium. I think. So it's still alive out there somewhere. But my first shiny in Gen 4 was actually Baniri. I was walking through and just randomly came across one. I'm like, oh my god, it's a Baniri. It's pink. So that's why I'm going to pick that one, is I have a personal story with that. That was my first Gen 4 shiny, and it was a full odds random find. Once again, I can't apologize enough, guys. Sorry about that little debacle with the chat. I hate that a raid comes in and it looks like I wasn't reading chat. I feel dumb. I apologize for that, but in the regards of the shiny hunt, we are down to 2 encounters. I hope you guys that are celebrating the holiday celebrate and have a good time and have a nice weekend. I hope that everybody has a nice weekend in general. I don't want to hear anybody getting hurt from hurricanes or dying from the heat or any of that stuff. All I want are good vibes for all of you. I truly wish you all well, and I wish you a good holiday if you're in the continental United States. Here are the last 2 encounters. I hope this is it. We got 2 more chances, Shaymin. Will this be it? Because every encounter has the same chance. This is not the one, but we've got 1 more. Don't worry, guys. Glitch hunting is so exhausting. I was going to say, if I can find that video, Yoshi, you're in my Discord, right? If I can find the video of that Tacticooler going crazy, I'll be happy to show you that. If I can find it. I think I liked it. I think I can find that again. Shiny Mudkip, dude. Mudkip or Litwick. I love Litwick. Chandelure looks amazing in Gen 9. I put that on like a Christmas card look. No Discord? Alright, I'll tell you where to find it if I find it. I'll make sure in fact, if you want, maybe I'll comment on this stream and I'll be like, hey, Yoshi, if you see this comment, this is what I was talking about. Alright, here we go. The final encounter of the stream, right here on the dot 545. Here we go. Gaiat or shiny Pokemon? I gotta take a look at what you're talking about. I don't know what you're referencing. Gaiat. Let's see. I needed context on that one earlier with the toilet comment. Okay, so that's what you're referencing. Hey, you know what? I'm going to stay on track here. I'm going to stay on target. I'm going to say shiny Pokemon, Ivanus. I'm going to say shiny Pokemon, and I'm going to fight any urge, any primal desire. I'm going to say shiny Pokemon because I'm focused. Let's do this, Shaymin. Here we go. The final encounter of the stream. No different than in a Splatfest when I got a 100x match on the final match and proceeded to go lose it with a meme team. Doesn't matter. Shaymin. Last encounter, here we go. It is the final encounter, but you have every bit the same odds as any other reset. This could be the time. Make it happen for us. Give us a stream moment. Shaymin, now is your time. Alas, Shaymin decided to skunk us instead. Shaymin, you have disappointed me. I shall exit, and you know what? I'm literally giving it a bonus encounter because I felt like, yeah, that's exactly it, Ivanus. One more, and then I'm cutting the stream off. Here we go. I'm starting to wrap up the stream right now. I'm taking the performance mode off of the thing. I'm literally moving the overlay off. Here we go. Final encounter because this is your bonus encounter, and this is all I got. Here we go, and goodbye, everybody. Have a nice time. Have a good afternoon. Thank you for hanging out with me, and thank you for chatting and making memories while I'm sitting here shiny hunting. I hope you guys had a good time because I did. I really, truly can't wait to see you guys for Splatfest, possibly extra work. We've got a lot of cool stuff in Splatoon coming up, so I want to share that with you guys. And it's been a long time since I just played a freestyle, do whatever, private battle Splatoon 3 stream, so I'll give it a shot. I'll try and factor it into the schedule here. Side orders coming up, and I promise Pokemon Black, I'm going to be working on it. I'm going to revitalize myself and reinvigorate myself. You guys take care. Thank you so much. Truly, I appreciate it. Galax, I'm going to head over to your channel. Thank you for the raid. I seriously appreciate that, for taking me into consideration, sharing your community with me, and I apologize that my chat broke right as you did that. But with that said, humble and proud, I am Nito Marquis, and shiny Pokemon Ivanus, shiny Pokemon all day. I'm focused. No matter how long or how many encounters it takes, by decree of Nito Marquis, it is always worth it. You guys take care, and I will see you next time. Farewell.